Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show is live. Cooler than Aaron Rodgers showing up to training camp. No, we're not. No, we're not.
No,
we're not. I don't care how you feel about A-Rod of the football persuasion. Homeboy showing up for training camp as an immaculate duplicate clone of Nick Cage from Con Air is his entire career. Put the Super Bowl to the side. Put back-to-back league MVPs to the side. A-Rod of the football persuasion rolling up to camp as Cameron Poe is his entire career highlight. Everything else is second place to A-Rod showing up in the beater, the jeans, tossing his backpack to the side. Put the rabbit in the put the bunny in the box.
You know what? No one's going to top that. They're going to try next year. Next year, someone's going to go, okay, Aaron Rodgers was everywhere with what he did. Can I top that? No one's going to top that. They're going to try, but they're not going to top it.
No, you cannot. You may effort it. You may give it a run.
There are guys out there planning already, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Next year, this is what I want to do.
Listen. Every year, you get guys showing up for camp in costume. It's a tradition I'm on board with. I actually kind of think it's fun, right? Shows these guys are human beings. They've got expendable income for stupid costumes. I'm all in. You throw a costume party and invite Rob Brown, he's coming.
You're going to say that he didn't already have that?
It was jeans and a tank top. Like, everybody's got the Nick Cage Con Air costume ready. But A-Rod with the hair and the stubble, like, A-Rod pulled off Cam Poe perfect. In fact, when Lonzo sent that to me yesterday, and I looked at it for like a half a second, I was like, damn, we're getting Con Air too. Nick Cage is bringing back Cam Poe. Oh, wait, that's Aaron Rodgers. So on the day where Kyler Murray gets sit in front of the class and told, do your homework, Kyler. If you want to play this weekend, your history homework better be done. Your school project better be ready by Saturday night. On the day where we all spent time asking, does he have a walk the dog clause with his homework clause in his contract? Aaron Rodgers shows up and is like, yeah, I don't really care if you like me or don't like me. I'm going to be Nick Cage for no reason at all, right? Like, we saw other QBs showing up for camp. Bake rolled up with a couple of new teammates. Sammy D got into the press conference and started talking to the media. Was like, yeah, competition's good. Me and Baker are cool. Other quarterbacks, Kyler Murray's got to do his homework. Other quarterbacks were at the center of discussion yesterday, and then Aaron Rodgers brought Con Air era Nick Cage out for no reason at all, other than, wouldn't it be funny if? And the answer is, yup. Yes, it was. It was spectacular. As we've talked about rejuvenating an image, right? Especially when you do something that is kind of frowned upon by the people, right? I've talked 100 times, and we're going to do it again today because, of course, we have to, about the Live Tour, right? And the fact that we know what the Live Tour is. The Live Tour is an effort by the Saudi Arabian government to whitewash, or sports wash is the new term we're using, some of the atrocities that they have committed. And here we are, 2 events deep, coming up on number 3 of the Live Tour, and can we be real? It's basically worked, right? There have been Live Tour discussions. David Feherty, golf's favorite announcer, is now on the Live Tour. And when Feherty joined, you know what I didn't see? I didn't see outrage. I didn't see people saying David Faherty, who, by the way, Faherty is very, very proud of his role in American sports. You can hear him when he talks. He's very, very proud to be a part of golf and a part of American golf. But Faherty signs on for a fat check, and I didn't see the outrage. Charles Barkley says, I would need, I think he said like $5 million to sign on and be a commenter for the Live Tour. And you know what everybody seemed to do? Everybody seemed to go, well, if Chuck's doing it, right? I said a few weeks back, if the Live Tour called Rob Brown and said, we'll give you not 5, not 100, $1 million to be the new on-course play-by-play guy for the Live Tour, I'd have to sign the dotted line. Not because I love the fact that I'm getting Saudi Arabian money, but because I know I would make the world a better place, if nothing else, at least for my family, by having $1 million in the bank, right? And I got hammered for it, but when Chuck says it, he's all good. And that's fine. I'm not mad about it. Chuck Barkley has earned his spot as one of America's favorite TV guys. Aaron Rodgers, last year, with the vaccination discussion and the trying to force a trade from Green Bay before finally settling on an extension, et cetera, Aaron Rodgers had taken a lot of heat from the public about being this and that and a diva and a prima donna, about putting himself before the team, et cetera. He was getting bagged on a lot. And then yesterday, he rolls up to Packers camp dressed as Cameron Poe from Con Air, a la Nick Cage, and everybody on social media is like, oh my God, that's amazing. Hey, it worked. It worked.
And some people jumping on the bandwagon and they've never seen the movie and have no idea.
You're lost, dude.
Yeah.
Cyrus the Virus. Steve Buscemi in arguably his most unsettling role, and he's got a list of them. He's got the whole world in his hand.
Right up there with being strapped to a rocket.
Yeah, man.
In Armageddon.
Oh, what a great movie. If you have not seen Con Air, I don't know who you are. All right? Go watch Con Air and tell me it's not amazing. Tell me Nick Cage's non-specific Southern accent isn't one of the greatest artist moments of all time. Put the bunny in the box. I don't even know how to do it because it's like, you know, you got your Mississippi Southern accent, you got your South Carolina Southern accent, you got your Georgia accent, you got your West Virginia accent, you got your Alabama. Like, you got all these Southern accents. Nick Cage did none of them. He just did some random-ass Southern accent, and yet it worked like a dream for Con Air. Cyrus the Virus was amazing. John Cusack tossing his fellow detective's car keys after his convertible gets demolished on the Vegas Strip was a highlight moment. Great movie. And Aaron Rodgers shows up as Cam Poe, and it's like, you know what? All of those times that we beat up on A-Rod, all of those times that we criticize Aaron Rodgers, all of those times that we bagged him, I'm over it. That was amazing. He even did the Nick Cage walk, you know, where you take those long, dramatic steps and you don't drop your arms by your side, Lonzo. You got to kind of stick them out a little bit to make sure everybody knows that you got bicep muscles. He brings a backpack into camp. He gets to the sidewalk of the parking lot, and he just tosses the backpack aside for dramatic effect. I imagine that he got into camp, and he grabbed some poor Packers staffer, like the social media intern, and he's like, hey, go get my backpack. I left it out there. Why? Because it looked cool, man. Wait till you see the slow-mo video of me just tossing my backpack to the side. It looked awesome.
By the way, that's what rookies are for.
Yeah.
You send a rookie out there to get that.
Yeah.
Kid, go get my bag.
But what? Because it looked cool. Go. I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm Campo.
Because it's the NFL version of pledging.
Oh, man. All right. If you haven't seen that video, go look it up. Just go look up Aaron Rodgers Con Air and tell me it's not amazing. Tell me it's not amazing. Texter on the Preferred Home Services text line 71307 says, Rob, ACC Karen wants you and Lonzo to both lower the volume a little bit. Well, ACC Karen is going to be once again upset at me. What do you want? I feel so bad calling that lady ACC Karen. She was just doing her job. And I guarantee you, it wasn't even her, but somebody at the 4-letter HQ got into her earpiece and was like, we're picking up some really loud, annoying guy over the mics. Could you find out who that is and tell them quiet down? And she's like, oh, God.
I'm sending her a virtual pat on the head and a bless your heart.
Yeah.
And I think it's conspiracy because, and I'm not going to get the music because, then I'll miss this moment. I think they recognize you from the year before about how much you smiled while you were on TV in the background, and they singled you out because of that.
I mean, they singled me out because I was the loudest guy in the room, which is pretty par for the course, if we're being honest. I went to a gas station yesterday after I got off the air. I had to get gas on the way home. And you know what I decided to go in and do was check the ice cream fridge to see if they had any Choco Tacos. So I go check the ice cream fridge to see if there's any Choco Tacos. They had 2 of them remaining.
They did?
Yep. And I got them both because I'm a selfish butthole. So I grabbed both Choco Tacos and I walk up to the front of the clerk, the what is it, checkout counter, I guess.
The attendant.
Yeah. And I throw the Choco Tacos on the counter along with my beverage of choice. And the lady's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm great. How are you? And she looks at me and goes, you're loud. That's what she said to me. You're loud. I'm like, shockingly, I've got that before. I was like, yeah, sorry. Sorry. I went, yeah, I'm really sorry. I tend to not pay attention to that. And her answer is, are you like in radio or something? Yup. So yes, I was singled out not because I was singled out. I was singled out because I singled myself out. Do you know Chris Hardwick was the host of Singled Out on MTV back in the day?
He's the host of a lot of things till there was controversy. And
yeah.
Now he's not the host of anything, I don't think.
No, I think, well...
They brought him back for a little while, but he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, he was hosting everything for a minute. He was hosting everything. He was like...
He also helped start Nerdist and a bunch of things like that.
He was like the nerd Steve Harvey. If you have a show that needs a host, Chris Hardwick's your guy. I didn't know he was the host of... I mean, I didn't really watch Singled Out because I was 11 when that show was on the air, and the only reason to watch Singled Out as an 11-year-old was the combination of Jenny McCarthy and Carmen Electra. I did not know that the doofy host was Chris Hardwick.
All right, I don't even know what Singled Out is, but I figured it was an MTV
It was an
thing.
MTV dating show.
Okay, all right.
Which emphasized the MTV, and yeah, it was a phenomenon for a while. All right, I got to get to some stuff on the show today, and we will get to some stuff. The ACC preseason polls are out, and this may shock you. Sit down, make sure you go ahead and take your socks off so that when they're blown off, they don't break anything in your office.
Yeah, you can't use that line. Someone else does that.
Oh, is that a Mark Ryanism?
Often. Yeah, you said it, not me. Did I say often?
Yeah. All right, fine. Make sure
Wait. I mean often.
Often. Make sure you are seated. And I need a Robert. Hold on to your butts.
It's better.
The ACC media has voted Clemson as their preseason conference favorite. Shock. Gasp.
Wow.
Oh.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah. Yep. Clemson preseason ACC favorite. And listen, it is partially because I expect Clemson rebounds this year. I don't know that they're going 12-0 in a playoff team again. We'll talk about that later in the show. But they are your ACC preseason favorite. And duh, because who else, right? And that right there encapsulates the ACC's problem right now. Who else are you going to pick?
All right.
Are you going to bet Pitt or Wake again? No.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, I forgot who, and I know we discussed this like a couple weeks ago, and I've already forgotten who played for the ACC championship.
Pitt and Wake.
I just know it wasn't Clemson, and who won again? Was it Pitt? Pitt? Okay. Where did they rank in the ACC?
They ranked I believe they were Kenny Pickett ain't walking through that door in the polls.
Okay, so like fifth or something.
Yeah. And for full disclosure, I voted in that poll. I get it, shockingly, for some reason, the ACC invited me to vote in the ACC media poll. So I voted in that poll, and of course I picked Clemson number 1. But when I sat down...
Wait. You're an award-winning member of the media in the upstate. Why would you not get to vote?
I am a nobody, all right? In the grand scheme of things, I'm a nobody.
I'll never get to vote on nothing.
I'll let you vote in my spot next year.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. That's a wasted vote right there.
Is it somehow NC State got a first place vote this year?
I'm just going to write in Vanderbilt.
I sat down to do that poll when they said rank your ACC teams, and it was like, all right, number 1. Let's do a bracket, right? Let's do a bracket. And I sat down and I power ranked him out. And I'm like, all right, let me just start with Clemson. Let me put Clemson up top. Guys, there's nobody else. Even if Clemson is down, there's still nobody else. Yes, I know Pitt won it last year. And I know Wake was in that mix. I get it. But FSU is not back. I think Miami's got a chance to be pretty good this year. But they're not there yet. Right? Not yet. They might be. We might be shocked by the Canes at the end of the year. I am really impressed with what Mario Cristobal is doing right now, but Miami's not there yet. This is a problem for the Atlantic Coast Conference at a point in time where everybody is fighting to become the EEC. Everybody is fighting to become the number 3 conference, right? There's the SEC, there's the Big Ten, and then there's the EEC, the everybody else conference. And the ACC, I've said, is stable in that if there is going to be an EEC, then the ACC, by having that grant of rights that goes through 2036, is in a really good position to be that squad. But the fact that when you're doing the media poll, you've got a Clemson team that is coming off of a look, it was a 10-win team, right? But a disappointing 10-win season. And again, this is, I don't like to say this.
Hang your head in shame, Clemson.
No. Hang on,
10 wins. Oh, my God.
I was about to finish that thought. 10 wins in the ACC, right? 10 wins in the SEC last year versus 10 wins in the ACC last year is a dramatic difference. 10 wins in the Big Ten last year versus in the ACC last year is a dramatic difference. 10 wins in the ACC does not have the same weight as 10 in the SEC. And listen, I want the ACC to be good for Clemson's sake and for my paycheck's sake. But it is what it is, yeah? So coming off a 10-win season with the same head coach, with the same quarterback, and with new guys all over the field, they're still the clear-cut favorite to be the best in the conference. And it's not because it's like, oh, Clemson's going to be that good. It's who the hell else? It's not FSU. It's not Miami. It's not North Carolina. It's not NC State. It's not Pitt. They don't have Kenny Pickett anymore. They're going to drop back down. So, who? All right. Texas says, fan, next year, if anyone gives you trouble in Charlotte, you can play the Do You Know Who I Am card. I have never played that card. I don't care how big or famous I get. I will never play that card. There's something that's gross about that. I have seen that card played in person one time, and I immediately left the group that I was hanging out at because the BMOC in that case dropped a Do You Know Who I Am on a hostess at a bar in Vegas, And I was like, nope, I'm out. I know I don't want to be around the guy. I don't want to be around that guy. Don't want to be around that guy. I will say, excuse me, ma'am, do you have a full ACC preseason selections? Because I do. Suck on that, EJ. Let me take a break. Coming up on the show today, we'll get into that ACC preseason poll. I got a list as we are now 5 days from the MLB trade deadline. I got 5 players that I would like the Atlanta Braves to have eyeballs on because, yes, I do think they need a move made. Remember, the Mets are still going to get better. Jacob deGrom is throwing simulated games. He's on his way back. The Braves are going to need somebody to make up that space. So, I got a list of players I want the Braves in on. Sam Darnold says he and Baker Mayfield are, and I quote, Lonzo, cool, end quote.
Hey, me and Mark Ryan are cool.
Cool. We'll talk about what that says. And the NCAA last week proposed nixing the number of transfers that are allowed by college players, and people are freaking out, man. Why? And why should they chill the bleep out? All that and more coming up on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
I'm trying really hard to get that email for someone's name being mentioned way too much.
Oh.
I haven't got one in a while.
Nathan says, is there an update on the baby party? There is not. We did not talk about it yesterday. She did not hear me talking about it on the air yesterday, so I'm in the clear for now. Apparently, Stephen Colbert opened his show with a monologue about the Choco Taco yesterday, so I'm just saying we're influencers.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I just saw a site a little bit earlier that put an RIP up in an entire article on it. I still think it's a marketing ploy, but, you know.
I am not going to go Choco Taco list to miss out. Oh, here, you ready for a fun story? So after I left yesterday, I got an email from the big boss that said we're rescheduling our Furman lunch for Friday, right? And he CC'd Furman's associate AD and AD on it. So it was just an invite to lunch on Friday at wherever we're going at 12:30. And Steve wrote on it.
Yeah, you don't want to give that away. Paparazzi might show
Yeah,
up.
exactly. He wrote RSVP to this lunch invite. Well, we got the RSVP back from both the assistant AD and the AD at Furman. And the AD wrote back and said, I will be there. Rob can't wait for the Choco Taco talk, which means Furman's AD is listening to us in his office while we're doing the show.
Which is awesome.
Yup.
So we're going to talk about what we're not having today at 10:30.
Yeah, I need to.
Because we can definitely speculate as to why.
Oh, and we will, just for fun. I'm going to fantasy book why it's not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. There's some good ideas and bad ideas as to why that may be happening. As soon as you sent me that text, I'm like, okay, what's changing for Saturday?
Uh-huh.
What are they doing Saturday? And even though we didn't get something, we're kind of on the inside now because we know something's happening. Most exciting part of my day yesterday was that I was putting together a promo for another show and someone mentioned Debbie Boone, so I was actually able to put in You Light Up My Life on a promo. That should not have brought me the kind of joy that it did. Do you know the Debbie Boone? Do you know the You Light Up My Life?
I mean, I feel like I know the song, but I'd have to hear it to say for sure. Hang on. I will play it quietly.
You've got a minute.
Hopefully, I have a 6-second ad for Harry Potter's Hogwarts Mystery. Oh, and now for Walgreens. Nope. I mean, like, I'm sure I've heard it, but it wouldn't be on my playlist.
It's not on mine either, but I know the song because, it's a 70s hit.
All right, let's see. Josh, welcome in, buddy. Nathan said, is there a update on the baby party? And Trey said, so it's a baby shower before the baby is born, and it's a party for gifts, and a baby party is after the baby's born, and it's for the parents. I never heard baby party. No, this is pre. She's still, the baby's not here yet. It is... here's the thing. I think people are playing loose and fast with the word party. They're like, nobody wants to go to baby showers. Nobody's like, yay, baby shower. But everybody loves a party. So just switch the words out. I think it's kind of cheating. I really want to have that conversation on air, but I know every time I bring it up, Lonzo, that parties involved may be listening, and I risk offending them greatly, and I don't want to do that either.
Yeah, you're pushing it. You're putting it, but you've been known to do that. So if it continues, if people keep egging you on, it's going to happen.
I know. And that's the problem. We were talking about a particular topic that came up on yesterday's show for faces and heels, where I am concerned that I might be the heel in a situation in my own life. And I'm not going to go back into it because I ran the risk yesterday by talking about it on the air, because it involves me and the lady friend, and it involves some friends of hers, acquaintances of mine, but I know that they are fans of mine and listen to the show. And while on one hand, they're really cool, and I think they might be like, okay, that's a funny segment, even if it is about us. What I don't need is her getting a phone call going, hey, we heard your boyfriend talking about our event on the radio show, and you're uninvited from our lives. And then I get that phone call from her.
Unless they say, you can come, but he can't.
Right.
And then you win.
No, she would never let that go. I know better. She's super chill, super laid back.
Thank you, Keegan. I'm glad you caught that, too.
Friends of hers, fans of mine. I mean, hey, spot the lie for me. They told me the first time, they're like, oh, we do. We love you. We love your show. We listen to your show. We love it. They don't know. I've talked to them in passing twice. If you asked me to get in touch with them, I would have to call her and be like, hey, I need your friend's phone number. Right?
I love our listeners, but I think they're trying to push you to get some drama. Just so they can
no doubt
feel like they had a hand in it.
They are waiting for me to come on the air Monday and be like, because I'm single now, you guys. I'm single, and I have fewer fans in the upstate than I did last Friday when you jokers pushed me into being an absolute clown on the air. Thanks. All right. I got to get some stuff here on the radio broadcast today. Let's start with this. Matt Rhule got in front of the media for the first time at camp yesterday. Players arrived at Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina yesterday. Most of the newer players, the rooks and the rookies and the new guys all showed up yesterday evening. And amongst other things, Matt Rhule addressed, obviously, Baker Mayfield. But he got asked a handful of questions, and one of the questions he got asked, Texter says, Rob, offending everyone again? Sounds like a Wednesday. I'm not offensive. I'm not offensive most of the time. I'm occasionally offensive. I get that. Like when I tell people, don't bring your kids to a bar, and if you bring a baseball glove to a baseball game as a full-grown man, that's kind of a loser move. Those are my two heelest of heel takes. No, my biggest heel take is if I catch a foul ball or a home run at a baseball game, don't send your kid over to ask for it because I'm sending it back disappointed. I will give the ball to a kid, but I'm giving it to the kid who doesn't ask for it, not the kids who run up to me with their hands out like, mine, you're a big person, you have to give me No, I don't. I ain't got to give you a damn thing, kid. Go back to your parents. Tell them I'm a butthole.
All these are hypothetical because Rob has never caught a foul ball.
That is also correct. Also correct. I've been going to baseball games for freaking 30 years and never caught a ball. All right. Anyway, so Matt Rhule Matt Rhule sat on the he's actually on the hot seat. Metaphorically, and he sat on the hot seat yesterday physically when he had to sit in front of the media for the first time. And of course, one of the first questions he got was, hey man, last year didn't go great. How are you moving on from it? Last year didn't go great. How do you move past it? And he said, quote, last year to me is over. It's kind of like golf. When you play a bad round and you feel terrible about your game, and then all of a sudden you show up the next day and you play golf again. I thought we did a lot of things well early in the season, and then down the stretch, I didn't get it done. We didn't get it done. End quote. I really had two different reactions to that, Lonzo. The first is, yeah, I mean, that's the way it works, right? I just started watching Ted Lasso, and in like episode 2 of Ted Lasso, and I know that most of you guys are like a year and a half ahead of me, but in episode 2 of Ted Lasso, he's got a player who had a really bad match. And he's like, hey man, you know what the happiest animal on the world is? You know what the happiest animal in the world is? The player goes, no, and he goes, it's goldfish. The guy goes, what? And he goes, yeah, because it's got a 10-second memory, right? And the point of that is, if you are able to forget the things that happened to you in the past and just focus on what's happening to you now and what will happen in the future, you're going to be much happier, right? If you're like me, you lay in bed before you fall asleep, and that dumb thing you said on the girl you were interested in 15 years bubbles to the surface, and you're like, oh, God, remember when I was embarrassed at 22? Now I can't sleep for a week. But if you can put those mistakes in the past, you're going to be a happier person for it. So that's good from Matt Rhule. I need him to not think about last year. I need him to put last year in the rearview mirror and take what you learned from it, take the experience and the value you get out of the experience and move on from it. On the flip side, the golf analogy. He said, if you play around a golf and feel terrible about your game and then all of a sudden you show up the next day and you play golf again. Lonzo, I suck at golf, all right? I shoot in the low 90s. On my best day, I shoot 90. I suck at golf. You know why I like to keep playing golf? It's not because I'm good at it. It's not because, every time I play, I get a little bit better. No, I don't. I suck as much last time as I did this time, and I'll suck as much next time. Because it's fun. Because I go out there with the boys, and I knock back a sixer, and and 1 out of every 6 shots is a really good shot that I'm like, put that one in the memory bank. I suck at golf. I don't do anything to get better. I'm not taking, Diesel takes lessons. Diesel goes out to the course twice a week and takes like a 45-minute lesson. And I respect that.
Should you have said that? Has he put that out there?
He talks about it, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, Diesel, our death metal loving buddy, is taking golf lessons. And I say that as a compliment. I love that. I wish I had the A, time and B, dedication to do that. I don't. When I get a 45-minute time in the week where I could take a golf lesson, I'm like, what if I didn't do that and just sat on the couch and enjoyed some time? So I respect that.
He definitely has drive. When he sets his mind on something, he works at it till he gets better at
100%.
it.
100%. I respect that, right? So my question is Matt Rhule a golfer like me? Where he goes, the last round sucked, and the next round's going to suck too, but at least we're having a good time with the fellas? Or is he a golfer like Diesel, where Diesel goes out and shoots a 99, and he takes 5 golf lessons, and the next time he shoots a 97, and then he takes 5 golf lessons, and the next time he shoots a 94, and then he takes 5 golf lessons, and the next time he shoots a 92, right? I hope it's the second. I really do. If he's the type of dude that's going to take the lessons and get better, then cool. He's still got a shot. But he's running. I mean, Lonzo thinks he's got one more year after this one. What? But all right, let's put a parameter on that officially, Zo. Matt Rhule is safe for one more year if he accomplishes X many wins this year. What is X?
I'm going to go with 8.
8 wins?
8 wins. He's safe. If everyone stays healthy. I think he got a pass last year because of Christian McCaffrey going down. I think.
Unless McCaffrey goes down again this year? Does it come down then?
We both believe Baker Mayfield's starting. and I think that adds a couple more wins to your season. So yeah, so I'm going 8,
Okay.
at least 8.
8 wins, which is 500-ish.
It is.
There's no exact 500 anymore.
Yeah, unless there's a tie in
Right,
there.
but 500-ish.
Yeah.
So I respect that.
By the way, I think they got a shot to win more than that, but we're saying the minimum.
I think 8 would be the realistic expectation. I think 9 would be good season. 10 would be accomplishing something special in the NFL.
A healthy Christian McCaffrey all season, improving defense with getting their DBs back, and then Baker Mayfield under center. They're going to win more games than 8.
Okay. Second thing that Matt Rhule got asked about is how are you going to establish the identity of not the team but the offense this year? He said, quote, offensively, we have to really establish our identity. A lot of that is personnel. We have to establish who our starters are on the offensive line. We have to establish the quarterback position and who our starting quarterback is. But we also have to establish the identity. We got a great start in OTAs, but we need to know who we are on offense. Now, that's a coach speak answer, right? That's a coach speak answer. You know, I hate me some coach speak. Coach, we obviously weren't asking you, do you have to establish an identity? Yeah, of course you have to establish identity. That's how football works. We're asking you to tell us what the identity is. And I know you want to play that close to the vest. I'm not asking you to tell me, well, we're going to run this percentage of runs and this percentage of passes, and Baker's going to flip out and do this, and we're going to run this many bootlegs. I'm not asking that. I'm just asking, what is your identity on offense? Is your identity on offense a run-first team, a pass-first team, a shotgun team, a spread team? Like, what's the identity going to be? And his answer was, well, we have to establish our identity. Right. But my guy, this is fall camp now, yeah? This is fall camp. This is not OTAs. This is the part where you should be refining the steel, not mining it. You should have the raw materials. You should know what you're going for, and you should be putting it into practice at fall camp, not trying to figure it out. You should know what the identity is by now and be implementing it. So now I'm not saying he's not doing that.
I'm going to say, do you expect him to come out and go, yeah, we got this thing covered. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. He's going to put guarantees out. No, the way he's talking, it's the smart move. It's the smart move because you're lowering expectations if there were some by some people, and then it's easier to meet those expectations.
I mean, I get it. His opening sentence was, we have to really establish our identity. Well, if you have to do something, it means that you what? Have not done that thing yet. And yes, I am being pedantic. I understand that.
But most NFL teams, their identity is their quarterback. So I think that's really what it comes down to when he's talking about you got to identify your starting quarterback. Once you put Baker Mayfield in as your starting quarterback, suddenly your identity is there.
I don't disagree. And again, as we pointed out, Baker just got here. He's been in Charlotte for what, a week? This is the first time he's actually put on a silver and black helmet. I get that you have got to feel Baker out, and Baker's got to feel you out. I get that. I understand that. But here's the thing. You know who and what Baker Mayfield is. This isn't a rookie that you've got to find out. You know who he is. You've seen him work. You know what he's capable of. You know the personnel you have. You should not have to establish your identity. You should have your identity established and be shaping that up a little bit. So to say, we got to go out there and, quote, know who we are, effectively got to find out what our identity is going to be. Man, this is camp, dude. You're supposed to be sharpening the sword, not melting it down. Now, maybe he's already done that. And maybe this is coach speak that he is employing to keep, as Lonzo said, us from building up unrealistic expectations because, Carolina's got a quarterback now. They must be setting up to be good.
Well, you know what? I kind of know that there might be an opportunity coming up where you might actually get to ask him that question.
We'll find out. Saturday, camp.
Somebody's going to ask him that question, I hope, because camp is going on, and
Literally today.
Baker could be listening to us right now. I don't know how early their early practice is. They might be out on the field right now. He might be establishing himself right now at this moment. People may be going, wow. So if you, I think practices are usually open to a certain degree. So if you've been to Panther camp already, or if you're going, you should call us and let us know what you saw.
Let's see. I will. You know what? I need to look at the. Practice. Looks like most of the camp schedule is today, the 27th. Practice today at 11:15 a.m. So yeah, Matt, Bake, Sam, Christian, if you boys are listening, call the show. We'd love to have you. I'm not criticizing because I think you're bad. I am critiquing because I want you to be good. Hey, Bake. Hey, Sam. Hey, Matt. Hey, Christian. I am the host of Odyssey's nationally pushed Carolina Panther podcast. I want you guys to be good, so I offer up my thoughts because I want to see you go in that direction. Call the show. Baker, we'd love to have you. Call the show. Sam, we'd love to have you. Matt, Christian, whoever. We'd love to have you on the air. 844-FAN phone, 844-326-3663. Practice is in an hour and a half from right now. I'll keep you for 10 minutes. You'll have plenty of time to get suited up before practice, Coach. Texture says, Rob, potential lunch spot in the Berg, Chef A's at 288 Magnolia Street. Chef A-E''S. I guess that's Ace. Ace? Chef, all right, I got to look that up during the break. You know what I do love? I do love that I say we're going to the Berg, and the first text about it I get on the text line is, hey, here's a spot to eat, fat boy. You know what else I love about that? I absolutely will do it. Thank you, Texter.
See, I took it as they would like to meet up for lunch and have a chance to meet someone who will not tell you who they are.
I don't hate that. Let's see. They got the Mr. Duo Angus beef sandwich with pork curry, Swiss cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle on a brioche bun. Don't hate that. The Ice and Thai sausage burger. Angus beef patty, American cheese, Thai sausage, our homemade bang bang sauce, lettuce, tomatoes, onion, pickles, and homemade brioche bun. May have to go to Berg a little early. We'll see. Let you know. Appreciate that, Texter. Texter says if McCaffrey is listening, try not to get hurt. I second the motion. All right, let's take a break. When I come back, I do have a bit of disappointing news about today's show and also some conspiracy theories Lonzo and I have formed around it. I'll tell you what that is when we come back on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
My bad about the thing, because I didn't think that through.
The thing? No, it's all good. All right, let's see. I'll never be a do you know who I am? No, I won't be. I think that's terrible, man. I think that's terrible. To go if they know who you are, right? Then you'll get the treatment. If you have earned to be big enough that somebody knows who you are, then they'll treat you the way they think you should be treated, right? If you drop a do, it means they don't, or you haven't earned the clout to be treated special. I don't want to be that guy. Trey says, I think a great venue for a baby party is Legacy Early College. I suspect if you find a woman who says, yeah, we can have our baby shower at a football game, you've found a unicorn. Mike said, I absolutely love Ted Lasso. It's a very terrific show. And Keegan said, Ted Lasso was fantastic. Glad you're on board finally. I had to tell you, I'm 3 episodes now deep into Ted Lasso. And I'm going to catch some flames on the text, and I get that. It's okay. It's okay. The premise of Ted Lasso is that Ted Lasso is going through his own personal stuff, but he's so relentlessly positive and optimistic in the face of people who are actively hoping that he fails or actively dislike him as a person.
Sounds like my life.
And he continues to be relentlessly optimistic even when a lesser person would walk away, and that's the whole premise of the show. And maybe this is because I'm just cynical and jaded, but I'm 3 episodes in, and it just hasn't caught me yet. Everybody tells me this is one of those shows you got to get 5, 6, 7 episodes deep before it really hooks you. And this is me being content consumer in 2022. Bro, I don't have time for 7 40-minute episodes for you to hook me. You gotta give me something good out the gate. And that it might mean that I miss out on some fantastic shows because they take a while to develop. But you are basically doing the plot of Major League, but as a soccer team. And it's not quite as funny as Major League. So I'll just watch Major League again.
I would like to apologize to everyone because apparently my contrarian nature is starting to rub off on Rob. I'm sorry.
Keegan said, disappointing news. Hope you're not getting canned. Could you imagine that's the way I announced that I'd been fired? Some disappointing news coming up, guys. Stick with me.
Yeah, I do. That wouldn't happen.
Canned, for the record. That I'm aware of yet.
Yeah, that would not happen.
If you get fired in this job, you just disappear.
Yeah.
You get off the air, you get a, hey, come to my office email, you get told that, and you never get in front of a mic in that building. In fact, in most buildings, you're not unaccompanied in the office after that point. You are sent with a bodyguard to your office to clean it out, and then you never come back in the building.
And there's a lot of, he's no longer with the company. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I can answer that. He's no longer with the company.
Yep.
I've answered that before, so I mean.
So the fact is, if I'm on the air, I'm not fired yet.
He's got 25 jobs. He's good. Don't worry about it. Ooh, I bet Rashad is angry. I don't know if you saw what he just tweeted a couple of minutes ago.
You?
No, Rashad. Not him, but his
account.
PMP.
Oh, well, not a live recording. I'm not shocked by that.
We were there one time for when we were leading the open, the thing that is happening Saturday, and I was recording something, and I got in trouble. I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, it's happened to me. I think it happens to everybody in this job, right? You start creating content without asking because it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. Oh, I didn't know. Get you off the hook a lot. All right, for those of you that tuned in hoping to hear the legendary Paul Heyman at 10:30, a bit of bad news yesterday afternoon.
I've got some bad news for you.
I've got some. Oh, I miss Bad News Barrett. What a gimmick. Unfortunately, we've got some bad news. We were informed yesterday at COB that Paulie H was unfortunately unavailable today. We may have a substitute guest tomorrow on the show, but At this point, I am convinced, Lonzo, that if I give a few days heads up, that guest cancels. Almost inevitably, if I tell you guys we have a live interview with a big name and it's coming up in X amount of days at X o'clock, that guest inevitably cancels. Paul Heyman is unfortunately unavailable. We may, and I'm emphasizing the word may, get Paul on the show next week. Remember, not this, but next Friday. Friday Night SmackDown is right here at the Well in Greenville, South Carolina. Paul may be available next week. And what do you want to bet, Lonzo? What do you want to bet that Rob Brown leaves for vacation on Tuesday and we get the email going, Paul's available tomorrow, which means that Lonzo gets to lead the Paul Heyman interview without me?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
You better believe I might bring my computer to the Dominican just to jump on for that interview.
All right. So
Sorry, babe. I know I'm working. I know we're on vacation, but I got to work for 20 minutes. We got Paul Heyman on the show.
All right. So I'm not going to pass up the opportunity.
No, you're going to do it.
Yeah, I will do it, but it will be, I won't be worth much later on that day.
You will be Chris Farley from SNL. Hey, Paul, remember when Brock beat Undertaker?
No.
That was awesome.
No, what's going to happen is I'm going to ask my Farley questions, but I'm actually going to have to put in what somebody else would have asked. And no, I'm good. I've been in
half that interview as long as I go, Paul, this question's submitted by Rob right now, who is texting me furiously.
I've been in situations where I've had to lead interviews before, so I'm good. I'm not
mad at that. So no Paul Heyman today. Unfortunately, we had planned on
now.
At 10:30.
What is Paul doing?
And that's the question, because we got told that there was a change in scheduling for production meetings for WWE with SummerSlam, the second or third biggest pay-per-view of the year, coming up this Saturday from Nash Vegas. SmackDown is in Atlanta this week, and it's a big one. It's the Go-Home show. It's the last regular show before a major pay-per-view. So what is Paul doing with Triple H in control of creative, with Steph as CEO now, both of whom have a good relationship with Paul Heyman? What did Paul have to do production-wise that made him cancel his interview with us at 10:30 today? Lonzo and I float some conspiracy theories in a potentially special edition of Fight Club coming up later in the show. We'll toss them out for you as the pay-per-views tomorrow. All right, but when we come back, a hilarious story about Joe Burrow. We have got Clemson being picked number 1 in the ACC media poll and more on the Rob Brown Show. This is The Fan Upstate.
Thing is,
soon we'll have the Rob Brown platform, all Rob Brown content all the day. I don't have that much content, man. I'm not that entertaining. 10 hours of it is just me and Zoe streaming video games, which actually would be awesome.
Keegan, we've already talked about that, dude. About Kyler Murray. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. I suggest you go back on the podcast. Although I have no problem with dissing Kyler Murray every day because he's short and his lip sticks out and he pouted and now he's got to do his homework.
That is so amazing.
Next time he needs to eat his Brussels sprouts. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Kyler, no football until you take the dog out, buddy. No football till you do the dishes.
You can sit here all day till that plate is clean. That's all I'm saying. So if the opportunity arose with Heyman, I definitely would do it. But if I felt overly nervous, I'd bring in a ringer. So don't worry about it.
Who would you bring in as a ringer on your show?
No, there's a couple in the building. There's a couple people in the building.
And they're
I'm
all
not.
fantastic.
I'm not going to do that.
I don't need. I need you.
I also trust in the ability of the person who's hosting to be able to ask some legitimate questions.
Is Cole a wrestling guy?
No,
Okay.
but he can ask questions.
Yeah. I
He's
trust.
he's not a wrestling guy, but he was at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I trust Cole would be like, okay, I'm fringe wrestling enough, and he would put in the work. He would put in the research to go in there and get it done.
He watched as a kid,
Yeah.
which means
He knows
he
Paul
knows
Heyman.
who Paul Heyman is.
Yeah. I'm so bummed out by that, dude.
I am, and I'm not.
I was so pumped
because
about
what is happening? Why is he not here? What is going on in that meeting right
I
now?
know.
By the way, I just want to remind people, while I was on the Mark Ryan show, we had a bunch of wrestling interviews, and guess who led all those interviews? That would be me, because Mark doesn't know anything about that.
The music is so good. Yeah, Keegan, we're coming to what you sent me later on. I don't know if I would have been able to use the audio or not. I suspect I would have, but I didn't know, and I didn't want to take the risk until I know for sure, because I heard Lonzo in my head telling me that. But it's a great premise, and I'm using it.
My voice is one you don't want to hear in your head. It can be
I do. It
creepy
wins me awards.
sometimes. QC connects in first break.
I don't know if Lonzo might kind of pull back a little bit on his mockery of Kyler Murray based on what I'm about to tell you.
I already knew. So, no, I'm not.
So no. All right.
I'm not.
Well, I'm still going to talk about it anyway. a Twitter account at Rose City Peach. Now, Rose City Peach and their 494 followers on Twitter is not necessarily what I would label as a, incredibly reputable source for football news and information.
But you got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't start out with like thousands of. You start out with like.
Yeah. What am I? I think I'm just barely past 2,000, and I've been doing this 15 years.
Braggart.
I'm at just over 2,300. Been doing this 15 years. I've been on Twitter since like day one. All right, 2,300 followers. Which, by the way, follow me on Twitter at the Fan Upstate, at the Rob Brown Show. Sorry, follow both. At the Fan Upstate is the station handle. At the Rob Brown Show is mine. Lonzo's at Lonzo on Word. At Lonzo on Word. Follow all of us. Anyway, at Rose City Peach, pulled up some data. Now, you got to go through the abundance of cautionary takes, right? Causation does not equal correlation, and vice versa. 84% of statistics are made up, et cetera, et cetera. But Rose City Peach put up something very, very interesting that as a gamer nerd / guy who doesn't really have anything against Kyler Murray, or at least didn't until yesterday, I found quite interesting. He pulled up a chart where the y-axis is fantasy points scored per game, and the x-axis is every game of 3 different seasons. Those seasons are the 3 seasons that Kyler Murray has been in the league, 2019, 2020, and 2021. And the fantasy points scored in every one of them, somewhere in the neighborhood of October 22nd every year, the fantasy points, they very clearly, according to this graph, dip down, right? And then Rose City Peach went one step further. Now, this was caused by all of us asking the question, why does Kyler Murray need a homework clause? Why did the Cardinals say, we'll give you the $160 million guaranteed, but if and only if you promise us you will do 4 hours of homework every day? Why would Kyler Murray's contract demand a clause in it that no one else has ever had before, right? There were articles all over the country from people asking NFL admins, have you ever heard of a homework clause? And everybody was like, no, I've never heard of that before. That's weird. Most guys just, do that thing because it's kind of part of the job, right? Well, at Rose City Peach figured something out. Now, again, causation does not equal correlation. Just because 2 things match up on a graph does not mean that they are inherently related, right? I saw a graph one time that put 2 things together, and I can't remember what it was. It was what was it? It was like every year that a Star Wars movie came out, the average height of the American male went up by a third of an inch or something like that. It was something weird. And it's like, yeah, it happened, but just because they happen don't mean they happen because of each other. So it may not be related, but it is hilarious as somebody who also plays video games. Every year, Kyler Murray's average fantasy points per game takes a dip on a per game average that always, and by always I mean 3 consecutive seasons in a row, the dip in fantasy points per game always correlates to the release date of the next Call of Duty game. Now, I play Call of Duty. I play the regular single-player game. Me and the boys hop on and play Warzone at night. I suck, but I play. And I will tell you that it is very easy, especially if you've got a group of amigos that you pop on and play with at night. It is very easy to get caught up in one of these games and lose hours. It's like going to a party with a bunch of your friends and you go, we're going to leave at 9. And then at 10:35, you're looking at your watch like, oh, damn, I was having so much fun, I lost track of time. Happens to the best of us. So when you pop on Call of Duty and you're playing Warzone with the boys and you're all laughing and cracking up and carrying and making fun of each other, I've dumped 7-8 consecutive hours. I had to change the batteries in my Xbox controller twice amount of hours into Call of Duty. I get it. But in 2019, Kyler Murray was averaging somewhere in the ballpark of about 20 to 21 fantasy points per game. And then Call of Duty, I think Black Ops dropped around October 24th. And for the rest of that year, Kyler Murray averaged somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 fantasy points per game. Now, fantasy points obviously don't matter in the NFL stats, but they're a reflection, right? Then, in 2020, Kyler Murray was averaging about 26 fantasy points per game. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That is until January 5th when Call of Duty Black Ops 2 dropped. And then Kyler Murray started averaging in the neighborhood of 19 fantasy points per game. Lost about 7 average fantasy points per game. And then in 2021, Kyler Murray was averaging about 22 fantasy points per game. And then on October 31st, Call of Duty, whatever it was, dropped about on October 31st. And at the end of the season, Kyler Murray was averaging about 20 fantasy points per game. Actually, about 18 and a half fantasy points per game. 3 consecutive years. And again, causation does not equal correlation. Sometimes graphs just line up because it's weird and that's how numbers work. But 3 consecutive years in the league, all 3 of his career years in the league, Kyler Murray lost between 5 and 7 fantasy points per game on average after the new Call of Duty dropped. Now, does that mean that Kyler was ignoring being a professional quarterback and was getting off of practice to run home and throw on the headphones and the mic and jump on COD and punk some noobs? No, it doesn't mean that. But in my head, it does.
There are ways to prove that. There absolutely are. And so what the Cardinals are saying, no video games until your homework's done. And I, as a father, I had to do that with my son. Hey, no video games till your homework's done, which he's usually pretty good about getting his homework done. A very good student, but still, I had to do that. So they're having to crack down. I mean, you know.
Listen, okay, most of us in the video game years, most of it in our video game years.
Those end at some point?
Okay, let me rephrase that. Most of us, in the years where someone else is responsible for our productivity.
Okay, there we go. All right.
And also we play video games, right? Because now I play Call of Duty all the time, but I'm responsible for my own life. So if I sit up and play 6 hours of Warzone with the guys at night, I've still got to be here at 7 a.m. the next day. And if I'm not, I'm responsible for the consequences. When I was in high school, a freshman, a sophomore in high school, if I snuck up to, well, actually, Xbox didn't exist when I was in high school, but if I sat up playing N64 GoldenEye or whatever, I'm trying to think, let's see, high school. What year did the first Xbox come out? Because 64 when I was in middle school. The first Xbox came out, I have to know this, around 2001. So I guess Xbox did come out when I was in high school.
Doesn't mean you had one, but
No,
yeah.
I did. I got one relatively. I was a 1%er, Alonzo.
1%er.
Yeah, I was a 1%.
Don't take the joke away from me.
I absolutely am going to. I absolutely am going to. All right, the Xbox release date was May 2001.
By the way, I was playing Atari 2600 in high school, but, I'm ancient.
So if as a sophomore in high school, I stayed up, I snuck up, and I played Halo until 6 in the morning when I had to be at school at 7, nobody was going to look at me and go, you're a terrible, responsible adult, because I wasn't that. I was 13 or 14 or whatever. I was not responsible for my own life at that point, right? As a 37-year-old, if I, as I did the other night, set up until 4 a.m. playing Call of Duty, I'm responsible for that. And if my boss ever came to me and goes, Rob Brown, we're going to sign you to a 3 times raise, but you've got to give up Xbox to get it, it is my adult decision and consequences to make. I'm not saying that Kyler gets off of practice, heads to the house, crams on the headphones, jacks the mic in, jumps on lines, and starts poning noobs at Call of Duty. But I am saying that, my goodness, his fantasy points would corroborate that if you said that's what happened. Which is hilarious. In my head, Kyler Murray needed a homework clause because Kyler Murray is 13 and plays. There's no such thing as too many video games. I play video games all the time. I play them on my phone. I play them on my Xbox at the house. As a matter of fact, you know what I did last night for an hour, Lonzo? Well, I was getting, I made the girl some crawfish etouffee. She's like, I'm going to shower. I'm like, I'm going to go in the back, pop the Braves game on the surround sound, and play some video games while I watch the Braves beat the Phillies again. So I turned on the Xbox. Do you know what I got into last night for an hour of my life I can't get back? Power Wash Simulator.
All right, I've seen people playing that, and it's like, okay,
dude,
why?
I don't know. I don't know. It was on Marketplace. I have seen people playing it. I have seen people be like, dude, I got this. I thought it was stupid, and now I'm addicted to it.
That's like playing lawnmower simulator or something like that. Okay.
I did. Listen.
So what's the purpose of the game? You're just power washing houses?
Power wash stuff.
Okay. All right.
Last night I power washed a dirt bike, a golf cart, and a playground.
All right, so...
And I got to tell you, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. When I put it on, it was like, all right, I see like people playing this on Twitch get like millions of viewers. Let me see what this is about. And I put it on the Xbox, and I power washed a dirt bike. And then I was like, all right. And then I power washed the playground. And I got to tell you, when I was done and my little character turned around and I looked at it from the street, Lonzo, this is the stupidest thing I've ever said. I had a genuine feeling of accomplishment about myself that I don't get out of my life very often, to the point that I was like, I kind of need to power wash whatever the next thing is.
All right, so the Wii used to have a thing called washing windows, and you would wash windows. Yeah. But you're actually physically doing that.
It's on the controller. It's not like if it was.
How do you know when you're done? I mean, is there a point system?
It keeps tracking as you finish individual tasks within the job. It gives you money, and then you can go into the market and you can upgrade your power washer to be able to power wash better. You
know what, Rob? To help up your game, why don't you come over to my house this weekend and power wash my house?
No, I got no interest in actually power washing. None at all. None. But I sat last night. We got done with the crawfish etouffee. The girlfriend was like, I'm going to pop a shower. And you know what she did? You want to talk about falling in love all over again. She hooked up her regular Nintendo and is dived back into Super Mario Brothers 3 and is trying to beat that without using the flutes now. So she's in the bedroom playing Super Mario Brothers 3. I'm in the man cave playing Power Washer Simulator. I finished the playground. My character turned around and it showed it to me. And I was like, damn, I feel accomplished. Like, I feel like I accomplished something. I didn't. Not a damn thing. I wasted an hour of my life. And then I used the money from that to upgrade my virtual power washer. Now, but this is the point, right? If Kyler Murray is genuinely so wrapped up in COD that he needs the Cardinals to say, hey, dude, we need you to, be a quarterback. I'll tell you right now, for $150 million, I will give up the Xbox for 5 years. And so would Lonzo, and if he says he wouldn't, he's a liar. For $150 million,
right,
I will throw my Xbox off the roof.
Just the Xbox, though. You didn't say anything about any
Video
of the other
games
systems.
as a whole.
Yeah, I would do that for that amount of money because they'll be there in a year or whatever. And
5 years, no Xbox for $160 million. You got it, dude.
not only will they be there, they'll be better.
Yeah.
So, and I can buy all of them.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I love that I started this segment making fun of Kyler for being a video game dork to the point of costing him money, and then I admitted on the air that I pretend power washed a child's playground yesterday and genuinely felt like I accomplished something when I was done. Got done, turned it off, laid in bed, and went, I could have done so many more things in my life. And I got to tell you, there's a little part of me that's like, I think I'm gonna power wash a house when I get home today.
There you go.
I think that's my after work activity is I'm gonna finish power washing that 1-story abode.
Kyler Murray has an opportunity here, though, to get some more money if Call of Duty, which is Activision, I believe,
correct.
if Activision gets wind of this story, then they could do a commercial of him getting done with his tablet, putting it down, realizing the 4 hours are over. Now it's time to jump into Call of Duty.
Yeah. All right, now for something I really care about. All right. By the way, if you decide not to be a Rob Brown fan after I admitted that I power washed a virtual playground for an hour yesterday, I would understand.
All right, so here's
I would get it.
I believe, and I truly believe this, there are more gamers out there than there are not. And
Lonzo,
they
I'm
definitely
not talking about
cross
gaming.
over.
I power washed
Still gaming, dude. It's still
a playground.
all right. You start with a task. You finish that task.
I did.
And thanks to being studious, thanks to being persevering, whatever it takes, and that's a sense of an accomplishment. That's what video games do for you.
What
Absolutely,
you need
absolutely.
To upgrade.
And not only that, but
like an idiot.
you're working on your hand-eye coordination for the next time you have to play the guitar with the band. There's just a lot of reasons why this helped you last night.
Thanks for trying to make me feel better. Still feel like a loser. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. Clemson voted the favorite to win the Atlantic Coast Conference. Yeah, because there's nobody else to do it. So if you're Clemson, do you wear being the preseason number one in conference as a badge of honor? Or is this just like, yeah, of course we are? It should be the latter. That should be the attitude that Clemson has. And I'll tell you why when we come back. Rob Lonzo, this is the Fan Upstate.
You see.
Still going to our stream. Be right back. stream for this conversation. Captain America Chris Evans down the hall has joined us on the stream here to talk about simulated chores like my power washing.
I don't even know if this is on. I'm just gonna pretend it is.
It is now.
There we go. Am I on the stream now? Thank you, Lonzo. For the record, I only heard this conversation because we've been having a little bit of trouble with the stream, the Odyssey stream.
Okay.
Not the webcam stream, but the Odyssey stream.
Yep.
And I've been monitoring it, so I've been listening to the show, and then I heard you talk about power washing. I was going to say simulated chores. Just imagine how productive you could have been if you had done actual chores.
Power washing, right?
Actually, like I've got some power washing that you could come and do at my house.
I have power washing I need to do. Here's the thing. Power washing requires me to go outside and lift things and work and be heavy. Yeah. Whereas with this one, I can get the same satisfaction of having power washed an entire child's playground and look at it virtually and be like, look at all that work that I did, and I never have to stand up.
I'm gonna say,
which is a selling point.
I've seen this category of games that is simulated chores. Like somebody mentioned Lawnmower Simulator, and I've seen other like train driving simulator. And
I have done train simulator.
What was the other one that like farming simulator?
Yep.
There's a farming simulator, and I've none of these appeal to me. I have tried a couple of the more cartoony games that are like Overcooked, or what's the other one? Like moving. There's some like moving simulators, like put the boxes in the moving van and stuff like that. And I spend all of like 2 or 3 levels, and I'm like, yep, this is not for me. Don't even like it.
So I don't watch like Twitch. I don't really watch people play video games unless I'm like Call of Duty. I'll watch guys play Call of Duty, but I really am just trying to figure out how to get better because I play with my friends.
Watch technique.
Right. And I hate being the dead weight on my friend's team. Exactly. But I flipped across maybe a week ago a very popular streamer playing the Power Washer Simulator. And I watched it for like legitimately like 15, 16 minutes. And I'm like, I don't get it. And I was not watching it because I was entertained, but I was watching it trying to figure out, why is this guy power washing?
You're confused. You're trying to figure it out. Yeah.
He's like power washing a graffiti stained subway bathroom. And I'm like, why is this entertaining to him, and why are people watching this? So last night I'm in the Xbox Games Pass because I check it every couple of days, see if anything fun's dropped to put on. And Jedi Fallen Order was on Game Pass. So I'm like, well, let me go grab that while it's on there.
Yep.
And then up comes like free games we think you'll enjoy. And one was Power Wash Simulator. And I'm like, you know what? This guy got millions of viewers. Let me just see. Let me just see. And the first thing is, you have to power wash a van to use as your thing. And I got done with the business. So I power wash the van, and I get done, and the van, which was caked in mud, is all shiny and new, and I'm like, all right. And then it's like your phone rings, and it's like, we got a job. We need you to power wash a
playground. You said.
Yeah. The first one was like this big playground, and I started it. And like, there's like a big Stegosaurus dinosaur slide, and I power wash that off, and I get done, and I look.
By the way, Chris, Alan plays it. I saw him playing the other day, and I see you and Alan. That's one thing. If you have friends on Xbox, which I got like 3, but you can.
Haven't sent me your gamer tag.
You can see what they're playing, and I do that on occasion because you guys always play stuff that I don't play, and it might interest me. And I saw he was playing Power Wash. I'm like, is that on Game Pass? And I looked, I was like, nah.
So I grabbed it, and I started, and I swear to you, 15 minutes went by.
20 seconds.
Like, I don't get it. And 30 minutes went by, and it turned into, I don't know that I'm loving it. I don't know that I love it, but I have spent 30 minutes, so let me finish this. And at 45 minutes, I'm like, dude, I'm almost done. This is looking pretty good. And now I'm like, I would do it.
You know what? There's one other thing I want to say on a completely different subject, the Kyler Murray thing. Just imagine the endorsement for COD.
Which is what I already said on the air.
Yeah. This game is so good, I'm not allowed to play it.
Yeah. All right, listen. Captain America Chris Evans down the hall just stepped in to talk about
why you leave me hanging
chores on video games. This is Lonzo. And to the 3 or 4 of you, not even who texted the show, but texted me personally, like Rob Are you okay? You power washed virtually for an hour. Let me tell you how it went down. I'm not going to spend more than 2 minutes on this, but I feel like I have to explain it because I feel judged. Appropriately judged, but judged nonetheless. Let me tell you how it started. About a week ago, I came across a guy on Twitch. I watch stuff on Twitch all the time, right? And it's not, I can't watch other people play video games. It doesn't do anything for me unless I'm like watching somebody play Call of Duty when they're actually like teaching. Like, this is how you get better at Call of Duty, because I hate being the dead weight when I play with my friends who are good at the game. So anyway, as I'm flipping between channels, I come across a guy playing this Power Washer Simulator, and I'm like, well, this is dumb as hell. But the guy had like, I'm not even kidding, 250,000 people watching him play it. And I'm like, I don't get it, right? And I kept watching, and I still didn't get it. So then yesterday, I went into the Xbox game store, because I've got the, Premium Pass, where you get all these free games for like, what is it, Lonzo, like $15 a month or something?
Yeah, you also get it on computer, too. It's a good deal.
So I got like, it's like $15 a month, and Jedi Fallen Order was on Game Pass. So I'm like, well, I got to grab Jedi Fallen Order, obviously. And then right there next to it is Power Washer Simulator. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me grab that. Let me just see, right? This guy had 250,000 people watching. There's got to be something engaging to it. So I started pressure washing virtually, a child's playground, and I finished the slide. And it took me about 15 minutes. And I'm like, all right, this is dumb. But let me do the monkey bars next and see if it's like cooler, because now I can buy some stuff. And I did that. Took me another 15 minutes. 30 minutes into this, it turned into, well, now I've spent a half hour. Now I have to finish the thing, right? Like, I can't leave this task uncompleted. It'll bug me. So I kept going. 45 minutes in, I've gotten everything done except the climbing tower. And I said to myself, hey, this is looking pretty good. What? My brain went from this is dumb to, hey, this playground looks pretty good after all this work I've put in. Let me finish that up. And then I finished it. And then I'm like, damn, what am I going to pressure wash next? I can't explain it. It's dumb. Video games are terrible, and I can't wait to go home and do it.
Video games are not terrible. And for those of you, I don't play video games. When's the last time you binged something on Netflix?
Oh, I got nothing.
You probably did. You probably binged something on Netflix, and then you're looking down on people who play video games. At least you get to be a part of it. Whereas, when you're binging, you're just sitting there and you're eating and you're watching Netflix. So
I don't know. I got nothing.
But I think this is really the government preparing people for labor. And that's what they're doing. They're preparing you for labor. Next thing you know, you're going to be doing a truck driving simulator.
I had to tell you, I saw a guy the other day with like a full rig simulator and that game on it, and I was like, okay, I actually would do that. I would do that. If I had like a full, all right.
Now, I get it if you're playing, if you're driving a tank and Cameron's got that thing where you got the full in VR. I forget what it's called. There's an entire rig where you're driving a tank and stuff. That's cool.
I got nothing.
Now, if you were window washing in VR, that would be different, because then you would actually have to use your hands to hold the power washer and all that stuff.
I got nothing. All right, let me get to one thing. The Atlantic Coast Conference media, myself included for full disclosure, have voted Clemson favorite to win the ACC football title this year. They are the preseason choice by the media for the 7th time in 8 years. A poll of 164 media voters, again, of which I am one. Clemson was also the choice to win the Atlantic Division, which was the overwhelming pick to win the conference title with 103 votes. NC State returned 17 starters, picked second in the Atlantic behind Clemson, and won 38 votes to win the league title. The Canes of Miami were picked to win the Coastal in the final year of division play in the ACC. Now, the Tigers did not win the ACC last year. They received 111 first-place votes in the Atlantic. Wake Forest won the Atlantic in 2021 and were picked third this year. So my question is, do you want Dabo and the boys to come in with an underdog mentality this year? Or do you want them to come in with the mentality of last year was an anomaly, we're still Clemson. We are still the Tigers, and everybody knows it. I had to tell you, think I want a little swag this year, right? I think I want a little cockiness. I understand that last year wasn't what you wanted as a 10-win and a bowl game win team. I get last year wasn't what you wanted because the expectations are playoff or bust. And yes, there's a reason I formed the question to DJ Uiagalelei last week the way I did. The way I did. I said, look, what are the team goals? And I know that the coach speak answer is, well, first we want to win our division, then we want to win our conference, then we want to win a playoff game, and then we want to win a national championship. No, your goal should be national championship. That's where you are as a team, even coming off a disappointing year. And that swagger bestills confidence. It creates confidence. You have to be confident if you set the goal from the outright as, I want to be the best. Do you think Mike Jordan ever said, our goal is to win our division? No. Michael Jordan's goal was NBA championship or get out, right? Do you think Brady comes into the year thinking, I'd like to win the NFC South this year first and foremost? No, he wants to win a Lombardi first and foremost. And that should be where you are. It doesn't mean there aren't going to be other teams better than you. I'm very sorry, Clemson fans. Georgia is better than you right now. Alabama is better than you right now. But here's the thing. Alabama and Georgia both have to play 13 other games before they might see you this year, right? Wasn't true last year. You had Clemson, Georgia out the gate. But they both have to play 13 other games this year before they would line up against you. And you never know what's going to happen to them, right? Even if Georgia is better than you, Alabama is better than you, they have to beat 13 other teams, including each other, before they get to you. You go win 13 games and an ACC title. Hell, you might only have to play one of them. You might have to play none of them at all. They might get knocked out simultaneously. You telling me even when they're bad, Alabama can't lose? They did last year to Texas A&M. Georgia, on the other hand, likely won't you lose this year. I don't think either one of them loses a game this year. But Georgia might lose a game. Probably not. I don't really see anybody on the schedule that scares me right now. They got Oregon out of the gate. I'm not super concerned about that. They got to come to Columbia, but is anybody, are even Gamecocks fans picking them over Georgia? No.
I am still surprised that so many people voted Clemson to win the ACC when DJ is still their quarterback, because according to Clemson fans, he needs to be gone. So how could they possibly win the ACC with this guy as their quarterback unless the ACC is so bad that they could win despite him being their quarterback?
Lonzo last week when we had DJ on told me that, and we won't name names here, but told me that somebody else in the building who was a longtime Tiger fan hit him up in the restroom after we interviewed DJ and said, did Rob ask DJ when he's going to transfer out or something like that? Right? It's Clemson fans saying that. Now, I am not
a die-hard Clemson fan, by the way.
I will tell you, the place where I see the biggest lack of confidence is Clemson fans. Dabo does not have a lack of confidence, right?
Yeah, and believe it or not, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, I really do. But it doesn't matter what you think. I mean, it's good that you support your team and everything, talking to you Clemson fans, but in the end, it's the play on the field that does it. And DJ's got another year under his belt. He's probably going to start the entire year, and you're going to win the ACC. Why? Because Clemson's still really good.
Yeah. Dabo's not hurting for confidence right now. We didn't get to interview him, but he was all around Radio Row, and we got to talk to him in passing.
You'd have to get through his people to get to him.
Yeah.
You know.
Mark and Diesel got the chance to listen to his interviews at Clemson Media Day last week, right? He's not hurting for confidence. I interviewed DJ, asked him to his face, here were the criticisms of you last year. And he was like, yeah, no, I disagree with that, but I understand where you're coming from, and I'm better this year. There was no lack of confidence from him. Jordan McFadden skipped it. You want to talk about confidence? Jordan McFadden skipped going to the NFL and making a lot of money in order to come back for one more year. I was like, why? Why would you skip the NFL and a multi-million-dollar paycheck to come back to Clemson? And he said, this team is going to be good. I have a personal vendetta. I've got something to prove. We have something to prove. And I did not want to be a part of what this Clemson family is, right? Jordan McFadden is confident. DJ's not hurting for confidence. Dabo's not hurting for confidence. The team is confident. It's Clemson fans that don't seem to be confident right now. And I don't know if it's entirely because of DJ. I don't know if it's entirely because of what happened last year. I don't know if it is because of the loss of both the offensive and defensive coordinators in the same year. I don't know if it is because Dabo brought up two guys instead of going to find a name at each of those coordinator spots. I don't know what the reason is. But the only lack of confidence that I've seen right now is from Clemson fans, not the Tiger football team itself. I told Ross Taylor from Clemson, I said, man, DJ's not hurting for confidence. He goes, yeah, he's got that quiet confidence, and you can see it. He's like, I asked him, I'm like, practice, what's he look like? Ross was like, he's a different cat this year. He's a different guy this year. Now, Ross didn't elaborate on that, and I didn't ask him to, but I read into it. And what I read into it is what I said. Last year, DJ came out thinking, I'm the guy. The guy was Kelly. The guy was Deshaun. The guy was TL. The guy was Taj. And now I'm the guy. And this year, it's, I got to go be the guy, right? No one just is the guy. You got to go be the guy. And it feels like DJ isn't, I am the guy this year, so much as I'm going to be the guy. And there's a different attitude that comes with that. And from what I can tell, the folks in Clemson feel like DJ has shown that so far. So we'll find out. But like I said, the only place that right now it feels like confidence in this team is lacking is the fans. The people that will fill up Tiger Stadium, Death Valley, on Saturdays. The ones who are asking me and Lonzo, what can you say to DJ to get him to transfer? Like that dude, the story coming into spring, I don't know if you caught this when we had Don Munson on last week, though. We had Don on, and, you know, the story coming out was, yeah, DJ looks like he's lost 15, 17 pounds and is down in muscular. Did you hear what Don Munson said? Munson said DJ's lost like 32, 33 pounds and is shredded now. I'm going to tell you, dude looked good. He filled out a suit in the best possible way. Munson said he dropped 30-plus pounds to get down to a svelte playing weight. I'm going to tell you right now, Zoe, if you lose 30-plus pounds in, 3 months since the last time we saw DJ? That's freaking commitment, dude. That's not easy. Especially when you're already pretty in shape, right? If I lose 30 pounds in 3 months, it's like, all right, Rob, you just didn't eat 40 chicken wings 3 times a week. Nice job. You ate what you were supposed to eat instead of what you wanted to eat. There's no, I shouldn't be congratulated for that, right? It's a great feeling to drop 30, 40 pounds and have people pat you on the back. But when it just means that you're not a glutton for punishment, there's no congratulations in that. When you're already in shape and then you drop 33 pounds to get even more jacked, it's like, damn, that takes work. And DJ did that work. He didn't coast on that. And there's something to be said for it. I think Clemson should be confident and should be as confident as the media is in him, as the media is in this team, as Dabo is in this team. You should be. And if you go 10-2 again this year, then it's time to start asking questions. One average year in the midst of a bunch of title contention years is not the end of the world. Quit asking me, how can you get DJ to transfer? I don't want to. Question I have for you guys is, am I the only one that has faith in DJ Uiagalelei, that believes that DJ Uiagalelei will be a different player this year? We saw him have, at its foundation, the talent to do it last year. We saw he can make the throws. Even the ones I said he wasn't making enough, he can make. Deep down the field, quick outs, finesse throws. I know he can do it. We saw him do it in the spring. Can he do it with full contact when the NC State defensive line is bearing down on him? We'll find out. But do you, as a Clemson fan, have confidence, A, in this team, B, in DJ? Because I got to tell you, the dude, by staring me down, when I criticized him and going, yeah, I disagree, I'm not that guy, and I'm bringing more to the table this year, he won me over. All right, let's take a break. Got a couple of texts in so far. Texter says, surprised NC State didn't get more love. They will have a top 5 defense, and they have the best quarterback in conference. I'll talk NC State, because that team's pointed in a good direction. You're not wrong. Texter says, hey, Libo Rod, real men play Candy Crush. I'm on level 3,495.
Congratulations on your commitment.
Yeah, I respect it. So does my mom, who's got you beat. She's at like 4,100. Come at Rhonda, bro. Texter says, Lonzo definitely grew up with Atari. Yeah, he admitted that on the air. Not admitted. Sounds like it's bad.
I did, progress eventually when I got money.
He's an Xbox One guy now. Oh, no, you're on S now. You got the new big boy, didn't you?
I do.
Yeah, there you go. Lonzo's ahead of me. And finally, hey, Paul, remember ECW? That was awesome. Yeah, Paul Heyman owes us an interview now. We'll get him on. I'll figure it out. We'll get him on. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Ladies and gentlemen, are you a Journey fan? I am. I don't know why you wouldn't be. Journey's awesome. If you are a Journey fan, and you haven't gotten to see, Journey in a while, well, do I have good news for you? The Gilstrap Family Dealerships presents Tribute to the Ages. If you love Journey, like I do, you can't miss Trial by Fire, the ultimate Journey tribute band. They will be live Friday, August 26th at Greenville's premier music venue, Cowboy Up, located at 701 Easley Bridge Road in downtown Greenville. Again, Trial by Fire, the ultimate Journey tribute band, Friday night, August 26th at Cowboy Up. They will be playing all of Journey's top hits, performed to perfection. It is going to be an excellent night out with you and your friends and your family and me and maybe Lonzo. We'll see. I'm going to see if I can talk him into a Journey cover band. It is Friday night, August 26th. You can get tickets at greenvilleconcerts.com. greenvilleconcerts.com. Journey lives through Trial by Fire. August 26th, Cowboy Up in Greenville, South Carolina's best live music venue, presented by the Gilstrap Family Dealerships.com, the dealer for the people. All right, Stream, taking a restroom.
course, I'm like, yeah, we're ready. Ooh, I don't have any.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate 97.7 FM Greenville, South Carolina, 97.1 FM in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And now we welcome to the show as next Friday evening, WWE SmackDown will be live right here in Greenville, Bon Secours Wellness Arena. And if we're lucky, we will be joined in person by our next guest, WWE superstar Lacey Evans, joining us here on the show. Lacey, great to have you. Welcome to the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
You should be, and we are as well, to have you and the rest of the SmackDown roster here. Let's start with this. Obviously, by being a United States Marine, you've got some time spent in South Carolina. You know the Carolinas. As you guys have gotten back on tour, especially after the COVID lockdown, et cetera, when you get back in front of a live audience, what's that feeling like, especially when you've got a connection like you do to the Carolinas?
Oh, it's incredible, man. I will have to say that, Greenville and Spartanburg is not as good as Beaufort, South Carolina. But, I guess I'll be willing to make a trip up there to make sure you guys stand up and cheer for me like I deserve. But, no, it's awesome. Being in front of fans and just hearing the excitement. It's action-packed. I mean, you guys can actually hear and feel and see the hard-hitting action that we bring, and it's better. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Lacey Evans, WWE superstar and American icon, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Lacey, you recently made your return to the ring, but it's been an interesting couple of weeks for us. Can you tell us a little bit about the shift in attitude from Lacey Evans since you've made your return back? Maybe not getting the reception from fans that you want or deserve.
I was about to say that I damn deserve, honey. Absolutely. It's funny. People watch this. They're like, oh, why did she turn bad? Like, what's wrong? Let me tell you what's wrong. I come back after having a child, right? 6 weeks postpartum, working my butt off to get back in the ring to perform for you guys, okay? Picture it, working hard. Only then opening up, telling my life story, every negative, terrible thing that I've been through in hopes that the audience would listen to it and use it to their advantage, to motivate them, to show them that it doesn't matter where you've been, what you've been through, you can accomplish anything. Only for them to not listen to anything that I said, not wake up extra early, put the work in, and try to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So what was I supposed to do? Huh? I did exactly what I should have done, was not turn my back on them, but expect more from from them to an American hero. Am I wrong for that?
No, you're absolutely.
That's the question.
Yeah, you're not wrong for that.
Not. Man, I'm an American hero. I served my country. They should be off their butt and on their feet cheering for me. I am sick of it. All the work I've done and everything I've done to use this platform to help Americans for what? You can't even answer that. That's the problem, man. So, yeah, I'm going to come to Greenville. I'm going to freaking get in the ring, and I'm going to remind everybody why I'm the prime example, and they should cheer for me. And Lord help them. They better cheer for me. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I absolutely am going to be there. Lacey, I've seen you. I
hope you're in the front.
I probably will be. You know what? I've seen the women's right connect ever since NXT. Who is the next woman to fill the women's right?
Whatever idiot gets in the ring with me. How about that? I mean, as much as I'd love it to be the champion, because I'm the prime example of what a champion is. I'm sure I got to wait my turn for that, too, unlike a lot of the other ones. But that's all right, because I'm from the bottom. I know what it's like to still rock bottom and work my way up. I've done it my whole life, and I'll do it in Greenville. I'll do whatever I have to until I'm champion.
WWE superstar and American hero Lacey Evans here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. So talk to me about that. When you climb into a WWE ring, especially after going through what you've gone through to not only make it to the WWE, but then, of course, have a child and then make your return, which most moms will tell you not easy. What are you looking for? Like, what is the goal for Lacey Evans? Is it a championship? Is it the respect from the crowd you feel you deserve? Like, what are you looking for right now?
Every bit of it. You hit the nail on the head when you said the respect and championship, because I've said it and I'll say it again. I am the prime example of what every woman, American, and human being should be. I don't use what I've been through as an excuse. I could name 100 things right now, and I know you don't have the time, that I've been through that should have and could have stopped me and my dreams and my goals, but no, I didn't. I didn't sit there and wallow in my self-pity. I picked myself up year after year, time after time, and I am successful. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, when I get back in the ring every single time, it's with a mindset to not only continue to show the world what they're capable of, but to get the respect that I know I deserve as an entertainer, as a veteran, as an American hero. And when I am champion, that I'll do the same thing then, too.
Lacey
With the
Evans.
title around my waist, because I deserve it, man.
Lacey Evans, WWE superstar here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Greenville will be the home of SmackDown Live coming up next Friday evening. Lacey, what can the folks expect from you and from SmackDown at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena next Friday night?
Well, they know what the hell they can expect from me. But as far as WWE in a whole, I mean, hard-hitting action. We are the biggest sports entertainment company in the world. And when I tell you we bring the best sports entertainment, that is, you have to be there to see it. I mean, watching it on live television is great, but if you are actually in the building and you can hear it, it's completely different, man. We bring the entertainment, and it's so much fun, and it's just a night that, you know, you'll always remember. So you got to come out you got to see it to believe it, I guess. It's incredible.
Cannot wait. Next Friday Night SmackDown live at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. WWE superstar and American hero Lacey Evans joining us here on the Rob Brown Show. Lacey, it's been a pleasure. I agree with everything you said. You deserve all the respect in the world, and I am hoping the people of Greenville will show it to you next Friday.
Well, they better. And make sure you're in the front and you're off your ass on your feet cheering for me like I deserve. You need to set that example for everybody else to follow. How about that?
Yes, ma'am. Done and done. Thank you very much, Lacey. We will see you next Friday.
You're not welcome. I got things to do.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And she hung up. So there we go.
You are not welcome. I got things to do. Amazing. Tell me being the heel isn't the best. Love that. Love that. Kind of friend of the show, Lacey Evans? Acquaintance of the show, Lacey Evans?
She did tell us to get off our butts and be in the front row.
And then hung up on us. As the guest, you say goodbye, and then you wait for the click to make sure, because you never know. Maybe they're like, oh, wait, before you go. Not Lacey Evans. She's like, no, I'm done with you chumps. I'm out. So, we're out. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. That was fantastic.
The heck just happened?
Fantastic.
A little bit scared there for a second, man.
Texter said, not a fan of wrestling, but don't mind you guys chatting about it. However, who the hell is this chick? What's her deal? She seems angry. Oh. Yeah, I think the term is frenemy, right? Frenemy of the show, Lacey Evans. You're not welcome. I've got things to do. Amazing. Frenemy of the show, Lacey Evans. So we've got friend of the show, Arn Anderson, friend of the show, Tony Schiavone, friend of the show, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and now frenemy of the show, Lacey Evans. Amazing. That was some of the better heel work she's done, and I'm talking in the ring included. Amazing. I have a crush on Lacey Evans.
I'm just trying to figure out what did you do to set her off, Rob? You did something, man. You did. Just suddenly, boom.
I literally said, you deserve the respect you are demanding. And she's like, yeah, shut up. You're not welcome. Fantastic. Oh, man. There are 3 people on the text line that are texting her things that I can't read on the radio. 3 texts that are blatant FCC violations about Lacey Evans. That means she's doing good heel work. You love to see it.
I'm kind of glad she wasn't in here.
Oh, that was so good.
She will get a pop.
Oh, yeah.
No, because of where she's from.
Oh,
That's why she mentioned Buford. So, yeah, she's going to get a pop. Every time she's been here, she's got, even in NXT, and they were in Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium, we went to see them. She came out and tagged with someone. She tagged with Nikki, I think, when Nikki was still doing that.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy?
Yes.
Her better character?
Yes, her better character.
When Nikki was at her peak?
I'd rather that not happen to me next week, though. When you're not here, hey, this is so-and-so from WWE. Okay.
Was it her that was on the phone when you answered?
No, it was a rep.
Okay.
So, yeah, they usually have reps call. Same with AEW. It's rarely, when Tony called, it was Tony.
Yeah.
Same with Arn. Some of the, I think more of the old school guys, they do it themselves. But I think more of the newer wrestlers, they have reps do it. And obviously she was on the road. I was waiting for you to tell her to turn the phone down or turn the radio down. It was like, you do it, Rob. I'm not doing it. You tell her to turn the radio down. I'm not doing it. By the way, also, people on the stream, if you call into the show, turn your radio down.
Yeah. Not Lacey Evans. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Lacey Evans told me, you're not welcome. I have better things to do. And now I have a crush on Lacey Evans.
Come on.
Rob, I'm not a fan of wrestling, but don't mind you guys chatting about it. However, who the hell is this chick? What's her deal? She seems angry. She is angry. You people won't give her the respect that she deserves as an American hero.
Last time I was this intimidated was when Charlotte Flair was sitting right over there and started glaring at me. And it's just like, wow.
Hey, Lacey, you deserve the respect you demand. Thank you for your time. You're not welcome. I have better things to do.
By the way, she's probably still listening, and I respect you in every way, Lacey.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see you Friday.
Yeah. Dude, I'm genuinely upset. I'm not going to be there to give Lacey Evans the standing ovation she deserves as an American hero, a mother, and a professional superstar.
I will be there. I will stand and cheer. And that's saying a lot because Rob has seen me in places. I don't stand and cheer very often, but I will do that for you, Lacey.
Evans,
yes.
Absolutely. Is it weird that Lacey said, you're not welcome, I have better things to do with my time than talk to you, and now I have a crush on Lacey Evans? Is that weird or is that normal? I feel like that's normal, right? By the way, just real quick, to pull the curtain back a bit, one of the conversations Lonzo and I have every time we have a wrestler or commenter on is, you never know if that person is going to do the interview in character or like as a wrestling fan, right? Like we had Matt Hardy on the show, friend of the show, Matt Hardy, 4 or 5 months ago, we had Matt Hardy on. And at the time, Matt was a big time heel running the Hardy family office in AEW. We had Matt Hardy on, and you kind of have to feel out whether this person's in character or if this person's just talking to you as themselves. So we had Matt Hardy on, and we found out within a question or two that Matt Hardy was speaking as North Carolina native and fan of wrestling Matt Hardy, right? He talked about himself, the character, from himself, the guy, the Matt Hardy, the guy away from camera. Lacey, a sentence in, was like, you jerks, better get off your asses and give me the respect I deserve. That was quick. It's fantastic. Thank you, Lacey Evans. Thanks to WWE for hooking that up as Greenville comes down. We may, have another interview for you next week as SmackDown is here next Friday. Of course.
I don't know. Cole will pass out if that kind of thing. I mean, he'll just flat up pass out.
You know, my question, I've wondered this in the past, genuinely. If you are listening to that as a non-wrestling fan and you just hear Lacey as character Lacey, but doing your local radio show in an interview, like what's the reaction? And let me just tell you that I got 3 texts before we came back on air that I am not allowed to read on air because they are FCC violations. In fact, I got 3 texts that are so bad that I won't even do what I normally do when I read a quote that has something I can't say on air and, censor it in real time. He said, that son of a bleep, right? They're so bad, I'm not even willing to take the risk of censoring them as I read them because I don't need Lonzo to sprain a wrist hitting the dump button on accident.
So are these people obviously fans and know who they're talking about? Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
One person called her an angry feminist bleep. Like, what?
By the way, I mean, you can look at things without using your political lens. It is possible. I mean, it's a possible thing.
Oh man. Anyway, Keegan correctly branded. We've got friend of the show Matt Hardy, friend of the show Arn Anderson, friend of the show Jerry the King Lawler, friend of the show Terry Schiavone, and now frenemy of the show Lacey Evans.
It's Tony Schiavone.
What'd I say?
Terry's a totally different guy. We don't like that Terry guy.
Well, he hangs out with Elbert. Terry and Elbert hang out.
Yeah, they do.
Frenemy of the show Lacey Evans, who absolutely now has my respect, and she deserves it.
I am curious, which one are you more flattered by being dissed by, Jerry or Lacey?
Lacey, and I'll tell you why. Being insulted by Jerry the King Lawler is like, in a wrestling historical context, it's great, right? It's great. But here's the thing. Jerry the King has a notebook full of insults, and it feels like, and I'm not saying it because I loved it. It's one of my favorite things. I literally clipped that audio, and I have it saved, like, at home. On I get fired tomorrow, and I'm not allowed to access our cloud anymore. I've got that clip at home because I got insulted by Jerry the King Lawler. As a wrestling fan, that's history, right? But I didn't ask Lacey Evans to insult me. I didn't be like, hey, Jerry. I'm like, hey, Jerry, can you hit me with one on the way out the door? And Jerry was like, hell yeah, I can. Of course I can. I'm Jerry the King Lawler. Of course I've got an insult ready to fly. I didn't ask Lacey Evans to insult me. She just did it because she wanted to. It was an organic screw you, and that's the best kind.
Speaking of which, if you listened but you didn't get to see, of course you can't see her, but you can just watch my reactions and Rob's reaction to everything she was saying, because I don't know if we were prepared for that.
I was not.
Yes.
So let me tell you what happened real quick.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
So going behind the scenes, here's what happened. We were supposed to have Paul Heyman on at 10:30. But yesterday, WWE moved a production meeting up to 10 o'clock today. So Heyman became unavailable. May be able to get him early next week. We don't know yet. WWE basically said, we'll try to get him on next week for you. So I get hit with the email yesterday. It's like, hey man, really sorry. I know you were pumped, but Paul Heyman can't make it tomorrow. He's got a production meeting that got moved. We may be able to get you a substitute. Would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, man. I mean, like, I'm always interested in talking to professional wrestlers. Of course, I'll take a substitute. And we got back an email that was like, all right, here are the people that may or may not be available. You know, what's a good time? And I was like, same time, 10:30. You know, just let me know. And then I didn't hear anything back about it. So I just went under the assumption, all right, we didn't get one. That's okay. It happens. Like, it was a last minute on the fly change. I'm like, we obviously didn't get an interview booked. We just didn't get one. And then I come back down the hallway during the break, did the endorsement, went to the restroom, walking back down the hall. The door flies open and Lonzo goes, Rob, we got a problem. Now, when Lonzo says we got a problem, because, like, if there's a problem, Lonzo just handles the problem. If Lonzo needs me to get involved with the problem, things have gone haywire. That's happened like maybe once since Zoe moved on to the show, right? So when Zoe says, hey, Rob, we got a problem, we got a damn problem. I'm like, uh-oh, what's the problem, Zoe? And he goes, Lacey Evans is on the phone. Like, oh, well, all right. All right. And the problem wasn't Lacey Evans was on the phone. The problem is it was like 11:48. We're supposed to be out at break by or 10:58. Or 10:48, and we're supposed to be out at like 10:54. So we had like 6 minutes. So Zoe moved some stuff around, made work happen so we could have her for a full-length interview. I did not expect that. I was not ready for that.
There's another little thing in there. All those details that Rob's talking about, he didn't tell me any of those. That's why we have a problem.
Because I didn't think it was happening.
So I answered the phone. It's WWE. Oh yeah, sure. We're ready for you.
Whoever's next on the line.
Yeah. I don't care. I mean, it's Rob and I should be able to conduct an interview with any wrestling personality just about.
You give me anybody from AEW or WWE, and if nothing else, I just talk to them in kayfabe about what's happening on screen, and that's fine. Right? Lacey Evans doesn't really have the background that Jerry the King Lawler or Tony Schiavone or Matt Hardy or Arn Anderson have, but that's fine. We can talk about what her thing going on SmackDown is right now.
Hey, I know her finisher. So, yeah. I mean, that's
it's a great name, by the way. The woman's right. It's a great name.
It is a great name.
So, like I said, it's like, yeah, I'm going to take any wrestler. But the last email I got was, we'll let you know. And then nobody let me know. So I was like, okay, we didn't get it. And that's fine. Oh. And then it's just like, oh, no, yeah, by the way, here's
they let
WWE superstar
Lacey Evans. They let me know. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we got this. We got this.
All right.
And luckily we have an understanding management that would be okay with me moving 100%. Some things because of what it was for.
100%.
Oh, it's a wrestler? Yeah, go ahead. Take all the time you need.
100%. All right. Thanks to Lacey Evans for jumping on.
I will never look at her the same.
Are you kidding me?
No, I liked her. I liked her character anyway, but now it's just newfound respect.
Like I said, Lacey Evans decided to insult the hell out of me on the way out the door, and I think I have a crush on Lacey Evans now. I just do at this point. It is what I'm not. Nope, I'm owning it. I do. Lacey Evans is a GOAT tier professional wrestler now. Kayfabe interview told me I was worthless on the way out the door, and now I have a crush. Fantastic stuff. All right, let's get to some other stories in here before we roll on with the final hour of the show. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield showed up to camp today. And, in fact, the first images are coming down for the first practice. The guys are walking down the hill at Wofford on the way down to the practice field inside the stadium. And it's Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield walking next to each other. Sam is in a short-sleeve Carolina Panthers shirt, Black Panthers shorts, his cleats, and he's carrying his helmet. Bake, on the other hand, the long-sleeve dry-fit shirt, the black joggers cleats, both carrying the helmet.
Yeah, he still thinks he's in Cleveland and it's going to be kind of cool outside.
Bake's going to make the one-day mistake. He's going to pass out today and then be like, that's why you guys wear tank tops to work out. I got it. Anyway, they're walking down the hill from the locker room down to the field. And no, I can't hear the audio. This came from David Newton, the same David Newton we quoted yesterday on the show as predicting that Sam would be the starter in week 1, despite the fact that 92% of us believe it will be Baker. They're walking down the hill, and again, I can't hear the audio yet, but David Newton says the chants from the fans seem to be relatively one-sided. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. People want Baker? That's a shock. An absolute shock. Baker! Baker!
I didn't.
Baker!
Sam.
Baker!
No Sam in there anywhere. It's all Baker. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a competition. That's what it is.
Baker! 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 The more you say it, the more it sounds like a weird name. Baker. Anyway, Baker Mayfield showed up. If you couldn't tell that by the fan reaction of just screaming his name a lot of times. By the way, it's not an insult. I get it. Like, what else are you going to yell, right?
Well,
hey, number 6!
They're not yelling Sam.
Yeah.
But I've had experience over on that hill. There's a lot of yelling when players come down.
Oh, of course.
Some of it is trying to get their attention, so maybe you get some autographs. Yeah. And but yeah, that was all Baker.
Yeah. You only get an autograph, get them to smile so you can get the over-the-shoulder selfie. I get it. And I know that I am willing to take a bet that says at least one person that we just heard on that audio listens to this show. I'm not making fun of it. I get it. What the hell else are you going to yell? That's his name, right? Quarterback! Like, what else are you going to yell? Hey, Quarterbaker is a great name. All right, it's an okay name. Anyway, the point is, I get it. And the fans get it. Baker's the guy. All right, he's just a guy. Anyway, here's what I'm taking from this. You guys know that to the detriment of every relationship I've ever had in my life and every professional job I've ever held, Lonzo, I tend to read into things, and I'm wrong sometimes, but I tend to read into things a little bit. Like,
well, you guys have no idea.
Yeah. When it has to do to me, I always immediately jump to the worst case scenario. Like, there was an issue with my paycheck last week. Nothing big, right? Based on a clerical error. There was a small issue with my paycheck. And what was my reaction to Lonzo when I walked in on Monday?
I'm getting fired.
I'm getting fired today. They're going to let me do this show, and I'm going to get the, hey, step into my office email at 12:01 this afternoon. So when I come back in here with a cardboard box later, you know why. I like to read into stuff. But I'm looking at these guys walking down the hill to the screams of, Baker! Hey, Baker! And as they're walking down the hill, Baker Mayfield's got a bottle of, I'm assuming like water with a protein powder mixed in or something. He's got his bottle of water, he's shaking it up. Sam's just carrying his helmet. Baker's got his helmet in his left hand. But as they film this, and hilariously enough, in fact, you know what? I'll even pull the video up. Go to facebook.com/thefanupstate, facebook.com/thefanupstate, or go to YouTube and search The Rob Brown Show. Go to YouTube and search The Rob Brown Show, and you can watch this video with us. If you miss it, you can go back and watch the stream later, and you'll see the video. But here's the video. So Bake's shaking up his protein water and his long sleeves and long pants because welcome to South Carolina, Baker. Sam's just got his short sleeves and shorts on. They're walking down to the field. But watch Bacon Sam as they walk. Baker is smiling. He's throwing up the peace sign. He's waving to the fans. He's just in a good mood. Sam, on the other hand, is just like business face.
Keeping his head down for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, which, listen, I get it, right? I get it. There's two options here. One, that's just Sam Darnold's disposition, all right? We all know that guy. No matter what's happening around him, no matter how fun it is, like, imagine you were at, like, a professional wrestling match and everybody around you's popping for the wrestlers, and you just sit in your chair and watch, and then people elbow your buddy and go, is he okay, or is he, like, really mad right now because he's, like, not reacting to this at all? But you're having a good time. That's just your disposition. It's a hypothetical situation I just made up, of course.
Yeah,
like,
completely hypetical.
Right.
If I saw a guy like that, I'd be like, that guy's intense, and he's really he paid his money. He's in here.
businesslike.
Yeah, he's Looks like he might even be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's Sam's disposition, or maybe Sam doesn't know what to do when he walks in into the practice field and everybody's going, Baker! Baker! And nobody's going, hi, Sam. Hello, Sam.
Here's a way to fix that. Don't walk with that guy. I mean, I know you're going to the same place.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
let him go first. Or you go first.
Forget something in your locker. I mean, I got to go pee. Something. I mean, but let him go on his own. Then you don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah. And now here's the funniest part of the video to me. The guy filming, I'm assuming it's David Newton. I don't know, but it's on his account, so I'll assume it's him. David Newton's filming Baker and Sam walking down the hill to the chants of Baker, 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 Baker. And what does he do? He just cuts Sam Darnold in half to frame Baker up front and center. Does he leave the camera on both quarterbacks in the quarterback competition? No. And by the way, remember, David Newton is a guy who thinks Sam Darnold's the starter in week 1. Does he leave Sam Darnold in the frame? Does he show both quarterbacks? No. He cuts off Sam Darnold's face in order to make sure that the Bake Show is front and center in his video when they walk past him. I love it.
By the way, I disagree. I disagree with you there because, David Newton's been on the station before.
I'm sure.
Appears to be a good guy. And I think it's the turning of the camera made it appear like, and maybe cadence changed. You filmed things before. It wasn't on purpose. He caught it back up.
I mean, maybe. Listen, I don't know David Newton. I haven't interviewed him. I'll try to get him on the air. I got no problem with that.
Well, you should. And the first thing you need to ask him is about his camera skills.
Did you know that you were cutting Sam Darnold off? Was that intentional, David Newton?
I think Keegan has a good point. He says, I bet they walk together to avoid, they hate each other storylines. Yeah, there's no winning for Sam Darnold unless he wins the job.
The only winning for Sam is win the job. You're exactly right. Exactly right. Baker!
And probably some of those people yelling for Baker are probably some of the people who didn't want him here. That's just how that, I don't want that guy until he's your guy. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But, maybe not be so critical of someone, especially knowing that they might end up working with you or for you or whatever.
Lonzo! We got to go to a break. Lonzo! So we'll come back here in a minute. Lonzo! And I will wrap up our number
3. I feel like
3.
I'm back on some other show.
Lonzo! You got any texts, send them to the Preferred Home Services text line 71307, especially if you've got something to say to Lonzo! The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate.
Charisma. for a temporary
yeah.
thing, and if we don't cancel, it would have subscribed to something.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I better not do that.
So now if you go in the restroom, it's brum, brum, do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Mark was just talking about how much talent's on South Carolina's campus, and he said the most talented quarterback to ever play at South Carolina is Spencer Rattler, and that's just crap. It just is, because first of all, we don't know what we're getting.
Yep.
And Connor Shaw set all kinds of records, including beating Clemson a couple times. I don't think he ever lost at home or something like that. Yeah. Gamecock fans should fight him on that.
Not that we're telling you what to
Yeah, you
call
should.
or text to a show.
Should. I hope he's right, by the way. I hope Spencer Rattler is the most talented quarterback to ever play there, because that could mean some really good things for the Gamecocks. The other players he was talking about, he's absolutely right. Aaliyah Boston, and I forget what the other one was. Hey, did you know there are preseason games starting next week?
Hall of Fame game, right? Is that next week? Are we there already? No, it's not that early, right?
I saw a tweet. Actually, yeah, there's one. It's August 4th.
Okay.
It's Jacksonville versus the Raiders.
Raiders.
Is that in Canton, I wonder?
Should be. First one's always Hall of Fame game.
Right, I don't know. I guess that would be it. Been in that stadium. There have been some renovations since I was there, obviously. But been to the stadium, didn't get to go to the Hall of Fame, though.
Well, it's right there.
We were there to watch a high school game, and no money.
No money will do it. That ruins most of my social
Yeah.
plans.
I could see it, though.
You see it from your house?
No, I could see it from the stadium. I also saw high school players that I was glad I wasn't playing against.
All right, the Rob Brown Show back on your radio. The Fan Upstate, Rob Lonzo, you. At RC Sports Card just said, hey, Rob, keep it down on the mic. You're disturbing my gameplay, with a screenshot of him on level 3,591 of Candy Crush. Love that so many of you guys are willing to reveal you're a Candy Crusher. I'm not even judging. I got a match game on my phone, too, and I only have it because Ryan Reynolds repped it on TV for a couple of months. I was like, well, if it's good enough for Deadpool.
You're sitting in a doctor's office, or you're somewhere where you're having to wait. You're waiting in a line to pick your kids up from school. I mean, you ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah.
You might as well play.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's
course.
available. Do it.
Of course. Like, I'm not 12 hours deep on Diablo Immortal at this point. I'm not judging. Have at. Have at. All right. Let's see. Steve Reed of the AP is reporting the Panthers have placed cornerback J.C. Horn on the active, physically unable to perform list, the PUP list, after experiencing soreness following yesterday's conditioning test. He missed 14 games last season due to a foot injury. He can return off PUP at any time. PUP list during the preseason, for the most part, you can just kind of go on and come off it. Basically, it just takes you off the active roster so they can work somebody else out, get eyeballs on somebody else. I suspect that J.C. Horn is not going to get dropped from this team. Dude was playing excellent up until he had that foot pop last year and had to take some time off. I think that kid's going to be a star. I really do. I think he's that good. We'll keep an eye on that situation as it plays out. Do not know if the soreness is directly connected to that foot or not. I think it's fair to assume that it is a precautionary measure, right? Like, put him on the PUP list, get somebody else a chance to come in and work out, see if you find a diamond in the rough. a diamond in the rough, pardon me, and let JC have time to still be at camp and get that foot right, get himself right. Because if Carolina is going to make a run, Lonzo said 8 games Matt Rhule needs to make sure his job is safe. Anything less than that, it's a risk. I think if he does 5 or fewer, he's fired. If he does 5 to 8, he is officially on the hot seat. If he does 8 or more, he's fine for one more. We'll find out. All right, a couple more stories to get in here real quick. Former Atlanta Falcon wide receiver Julio Jones, who left that team somewhat surprisingly, has now signed on with Tom Brady and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Julio Jones is going to be the number 3 wide receiver on that team behind Godwin and Evans, which of course he is. Both of those guys are better than Julio, despite the fact that Julio is still a really talented wide receiver. All I can say is good for Tom Brady. You know, it's been so hard for that guy to find talent that wants to play with him in recent years. It's good to see that a top prize free agent has finally been willing to go play with Tom and actually give him a chance, you know? Good for Tom. Something good happening to that guy. I know he's had it rough lately.
Yeah, I'm not participating in this.
You don't even want to sarcastically dunk on Tom Brady?
I made a face because I think it was your mom pointed out that I always make a face. It was someone, so I made a face. But they had to. So he's taking Antonio Brown's place, basically.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. 7-time Pro Bowler gives Tom Brady another weapon as he looks to rebound from a down season. Remember, he was with the Titans last year, and it did not go great. He joins Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, and Brashad Perriman, as well as Russell Gage, another former Falcon that has jumped into an NFC South divisional rivalry. Godwin had offseason surgery on a torn ACL, suffered late last season. They opted not to put him on the PUP list to start training camp, but a source told ESPN that they're going to be very cautious with Godwin and make sure he is as close to 100% as possible before they let him practice. Kyle Rudolph was also brought onto the roster last week as the Bucs try to figure out what to do in the wake of Rob Gronkowski retiring. Although Rob's girlfriend on Instagram last week said she doesn't believe he's officially done. And if there's one source that I'm going to listen to, it's Rob Gronkowski's Pillow Talk partner. Rob's girlfriend's like, yeah, I'll believe he's done when we're like midway through a season and he's at home. But we'll see. Speculation that Gronk just didn't want to go to fall camp, you know? Coach, I'll just see you week 1. I'm still Gronk. I still got this. Anyway, Tennessee dealt a pair of draft picks to acquire Julio last year, hoping he would provide some support to Ryan Tannehill and the passing attack, but he appeared in just 10 games because of injuries, had a career low with 31 catches for 434 yards, just 1 touchdown reception. The second straight season in which Jones was hampered by injury. He appeared in 2020 for just 9 games for the Falcons after being drafted 6th overall in 2011. And the Falcons having to send multiple draft picks to Cleveland to bring him in. Atlanta moved up to acquire Jones in that first year with their overall first-round pick, a second to Force, and a 2012 first to C-Town to get him. Jones is the Falcons' career leader in catches with 848, yards with 12,896, and is second to only Roddy White in touchdown receptions with 63. He has a 91.9 receiving yards per game. It is the best per game average in NFL history. Also leads the NFL in receiving yards since 2014. While Evans leads the NFL in touchdown catches during that same span. So Brady next year has, since 2014, the NFL's biggest yard producer and biggest touchdown producer at wide receiver. The Bucs are going to have an offense this year. Now, the only question is, can Julio stay healthy, right? Because that's what did him in 2 years ago. That's what did him in last year, was the fact that dude just could not get through 17. Just couldn't do it. But if he can this year, Julio is going to have Tom Brady throwing him the ball. And from what I understand, as a lot of people on the internet have told me repeatedly, I don't know much about football. Just ask internet commenter A. They will tell you, if I know anything about football, I know that Brady guy is pretty good. He's pretty good at the football. So we'll see. Brady gets a massive weapon in Julio Jones. If Julio stays healthy, you can bet that guy's going to put up numbers with Tom Brady.
I don't know that he's a massive weapon anymore. I mean, he's lost a step. He's definitely older.
Sure.
He's getting going to be thrown passes from a guy who retired and then unretired. So who knows what that guy's got left. So, I mean, I'm not sure that we can say for sure that he's a weapon, although he may be a weapon, but, getting thrown to by a retiree.
A retiree. An APB being put out on Brady for not being in the home on time, apparently. Guy's a year and a half removed from winning a Super Bowl, but yeah, we're worried about TB.
Anything I say not accurate. Did he not retire and then come back? That makes him a retiree, doesn't it?
I mean,
or is he a former retiree?
I would say he's retired from retiring. Unretired.
Old, retired, unretired, indecisive. So if you can't decide whether your career's over or not, how are you going to decide who to throw the ball to? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's struggling, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
NFC Championship game last year was a letdown.
Hey, man, when you hit that wall, you hit that wall hard enough to go, you know what, I'm done, which he realized. And then, that little itch that said, maybe I still got something left in the tank. Probably doesn't, but, I guess we'll see.
Texter says, did you guys talk about Ric Flair's last match, The Angle? Will you watch it Sunday? I'll tell you this. There are some matches on that card that I'm very interested in.
All right, I got a guy. I know a guy.
I got a guy.
Right over here. I got a guy right over here who's going to be there.
Yep.
And is going to be sending me pictures the entire time. So, and that guy, very excited about going.
Yeah, he is.
So he's one of those guys who can go, you know what? I'm going to go see that and then go see that. I'm not jealous at all. I think it's awesome. I'm interested in it as a match, right? Like, they made it a tag match for a reason. Ric Flair should not be in a wrestling ring. He should not.
Correct. They made it a tag match. He is tagging with All Elite Wrestling's Andrade El Idolo, a.k.a. Rick's son-in-law.
Yeah, son-in-law, yeah.
What is cool, because, listen, I think Andrade is tremendous. And he's going up against a couple of guys they got a grudge with.
And it's good that he's taking this match because he's underused in AEW where there's so much talent they just can't put enough of them on TV. So, yeah, I don't blame him. You take a match like this.
I respect Lonzo for not missing his chance.
Of course.
Don't miss your shot.
And here's the other thing, though. He's got to be protecting his father-in-law.
Oh, sure.
I mean.
Not as a wrestler. As I'm married to your daughter, so let me take the big bumps.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy who messes up and lets Ric Flair get really hurt in the ring.
You ain't wrong. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we got time for one story before we get to Twitter trending topics. The commish of the Big Ten, Kevin Warren, Lonzo's a big fan, spoke out yesterday about future potential expansion of the Big Ten Conference. And let me just tell you, I chuckled. I'll tell you why. We'll play that audio for you and then get Twitter trending topics on the way out when we come back on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. WrestleMania 40 is in Philly next year. best friend's back home. I've been watching wrestling with her since we were kids. Is turning 40 on WrestleMania weekend, and it's WrestleMania 40. So she texted me yesterday, and she's like, "Get Courtney, get tickets. We're going to WrestleMania for my 40th." I'm like, it's hard to say no to.
See, I hate when you have a sore spot that never completely heals, and then you make the dumb mistake of hitting it on occasion. Because I had a hiatal hernia like a couple years ago, and every once in a while, I will smack myself in the chest and hurt myself. And I did that a little bit earlier. I don't know why. Also, with Rob out of the room, isn't it wild that the Little Tykes basketball court seems to be front and center? It looks surreal.
Can I just talk about how amazing it feels for me, personally, that Jake Paul doesn't want to be a heel, but when he ate a skull-crushing finale from Miz, the crowd started chanting one more time. They wanted the heel to bust up the face one more time. Amazing.
Maybe that's what the meeting was about today.
Yeah, we screwed up, guys.
We're going to have a change of direction in Logan Paul, not Jake Paul, because Jake Paul wasn't there, but you said Jake Paul. But I get it. I get how you get those confused. Then I have the problem one Saturday night that I always do when they have a Saturday premium live event, is trying to not get spoiled before I go home. Everybody meeting in the parking lot, going to the Chick, get some salad.
I'm not mad. I kind of want chicken salad. It's the closest restaurant to us, and I have not eaten there since I moved here.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. They have a Cajun chicken salad that's actually pretty good. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. But around lunchtime, I don't know if you noticed, they usually get a pretty good line of people going over there. So. Huzzah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Better not do what I think they're going to try to do, which I already predicted they're going to try to do, which I will not say right now, but I can tell you later.
Okay.
About something that happens in a couple days.
All right, I'm going to run through this audio real quick. Clip 1, I think it's the only one I have in there today, Lonzo. Kevin Warren, commissioner of the Big Ten. Big Ten Media Days are happening. And by the way, if you want a gauge and I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be a hot take artist, but if you want a gauge of where the ACC stands right now, the ACC fit everybody that was there to cover their media days into a hotel ballroom. The SEC needed about 5 of them, and it took them 4 days to get through media days. The Big Ten's media days are being held on the field at Lucas Oil, right? Their media days are on the field where the Colts play at Lucas Oil because that's the only way they can fit everybody. The ACC fit everybody into a ballroom. And I'm not saying that disrespect the ACC. I am saying it's a fairly accurate gauge of where the ACC stands now. Anyway, Kevin Warren, like every other commissioner in college football, was asked about expansion in a presser. And here's what Kevin Warren had to say about future Big Ten expansion.
Because where we are right now, I'm focused on being realistic about the state of college athletics, about accepting our responsibility to shape college athletics, lead college athletics, fortify college athletics, to be bold, to be strong, to be innovative. And regarding expansion, I get asked every single day, what's next? It may include future expansion, but it will be done for the right reasons, at the right time, with our student athletes, academic and athletic empowerment at the center of any and all decisions that we will make regarding any further expansions. We will not expand just to expand. It will be strategic. It will add additional value to our conference, and it will provide a platform to even have our student athletes be put on a larger platform so they can build their careers, but also that they have an opportunity to grow and learn from an education and from an athletic standpoint.
Can I tell you how disingenuous that sounds to me? You know, we're only expanding so that our student athletes have a bigger stage. Yeah, that's correct. Why are you trying to give them a bigger stage, though? Is it because you really want them to have a bigger stage? Or is it because you put them on a bigger stage and the conference makes more money and the conference is better off for it? Listen, the athletes get a part of that, right? The more TVs the athletes are on, the more NIL money they can justifiably make, right? Because the more people pay attention to them, the more people know who they are, the more they can pimp products in different markets. But I'm so past commissioners hitting us with, you know, we're just doing this for our student athletes. I don't know why it bothers me. Like, of course, right? What else are they going to say? Are they going to be honest and go, we're doing this for more money, right? Because if they cared about student athletes, there are other schools that putting them on the radar would give those student athletes a chance to play on more screens. So to say we care about our student, no, you don't. You care about the money. I'm fine with it. You know, the only reason they don't is because then fans, and I'm going to go Lacey Evans here, like you, fans like you would then have to stare the reality of what's happening in the face, which is you can sit here and whine and moan and and complain all you want about, oh, I wish college football would go back the way it used to, but you're not willing to do anything to change it. You're not willing to do anything to stymie it, to push back the tide. You're fine with it. They are doing it for profit. You are the resource off of which they profit, and we're all good with it. It's one of those things that you're going to sit at home and you're going to go, my golly gosh gee willikers, I hope this changes soon, and then do nothing to change it. College football is now, like it or not, a for-profit enterprise. And what these guys are doing is saying it's everything but we're not dumb, or at least I'm not. We know what it is. We see what it is, Kevin. You're not doing this so the Big Ten has a bigger market. You're doing this so the conference gets more money. USC and UCLA weren't invited in because you genuinely care about student athletes in Los Angeles, California, 800 miles from your HQ. You're doing this because it puts the Big Ten on in a bigger television market and you're going to get more money out of it. Stop playing. Confront it for what it is.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
Yeah, well said. Because a bigger platform would not be Hollywood. I'm just, so kind of makes them accurate a little bit. Put them on, Hollywood.
No,
I'm
I
just-
get it.
Just saying.
You're
man.
right. It's on a bigger stage. But do you think that when USC and UCLA on the table, Kevin Warren said, it'd be great if we could get CJ Stroud on TV in LA? Or did he go, yo, that's like $50 million more into the conference. We should definitely do that.
I'm the kind of guy who is positive, and I would like to say the answer to that
Do
is
you believe
both.
him? Do you believe him?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right. The first thing that's trending is the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, I saw something before we came on the air, and I did not get on in time to see what it was before we got to Twitter trending topics. But there's something happened with the Loch Ness Monster that people are all excited because it's a step towards proving it's real.
They have found fossils that may prove that the Loch Ness Monster existed at one time.
Yeah, dude, have you seen the fossils of the marine reptiles from back in the day? They're amazing. They're incredible.
Not in person, no. But apparently it's enough to warrant it trending on the internet. The next thing that's trending is GTA 6.
Listen, go right now on the internet. Sorry, I'm not letting go of this Loch Ness thing. Go right now on the internet and look for Plesiosaurus fossil. Pleisosaurus. That's off the top of my head. I think I nailed it. Go look up Plesiosaurus. It was like a 27-foot long, big-bodied, snake and eel-headed freaking monster.
Hey,
that
baby,
swam
I'm your
around oceans
Plesiosaurus.
that swam around our ocean for years. Yes, there are fossils of these things because they were real. It does not mean the Loch Ness Monster is real. All right. What was it, GTA 6?
Yes.
Do we have a release date announced?
No, but we have something major that's happened with GTA 6. You will now be able to play as a female as the lead, which
Cool.
apparently has. I've only played like the online a little bit. It's just not my kind of game. So
Listen, GTA is, if you ask me for the three franchises, Grand Theft Auto's on that list. Madden's on that list. FIFA's on that list. Grand Theft Auto's on that list. I've been playing GTA since GTA 1 dropped. First handful of years, you had to play it in secret because no way was Rhonda Brown letting me get away with that. But I've been playing GTA from the beginning. Look, we like to see ourselves in video games. Madden's cool because it lets us feel like an NFL quarterback or a starter on the United States men's national team playing FIFA. We all like to see ourselves in video games, and the revolution of not just acceptable but realistic female leads has been phenomenal. Last of Us has become one of the biggest franchises of all time. So to have that representation in GTA, a game in which you shoot rocket launchers into cop helicopters, is fun.
we don't advise that you ever do that in real life. By the way, the last thing that's trending is the Buckeyes. Just cause they're trending right now.
Suck it, everybody else. Thanks again to Lacey Evans, American hero and WWE superstar, for joining us on the show today. Enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It actually says Loch Ness Monster real. Needs about tree fitty. Thank you, internet meme. Come to the text line. I love it. Jim Rubb's up next in the jungle. Mark Ryan and Diesel take you outside at 3 o'clock for Lonzo. My name's Rob. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow for more of the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Lonzo! Later, brother. All right, stream. Thanks.